Two men, one-on-one. It is the ultimate competition. Dominating, that is the one word that best describes Dean Thomas. Ranked number 2 in the world in his weight division, Thomas has been destroying his opponents. Ranked number 1 in the world in the lightweight division, Jens Pulver has earned the nickname the Pulverizer. That nickname isn't just a nice piece of alliteration, it is a nickname that comes from a devastating left hand. Tonight, Pulver and Thomas head-to-head, one-on-one. We call it New Blood Conflict, and it's coming up next. Augusta, Georgia, the home of the most prestigious golf tournament in the world, the Masters. Tonight, Augusta, Georgia is the home of an incredible fight card. Hi everyone, Ian Furness with you tonight. New Blood Conflict Part 1. That's all we have to say until we show you the fight card. It is incredible tonight here in Augusta, Georgia. What a card we have for you. 10 fights. Let's take a look at those fights tonight. As you see, our featured matchup, Dean Thomas and Jens Pulver, but the rest of the card is almost as good. It should be a great night of fighting, and look out because we are going to have some action for you throughout this evening. And joining me on tonight's broadcast is Jay Gagne. And Jay, when you look at that fight card, you just have to think, wow.
It burns excitement. I'll tell you what, we've got fighters from Brazil, we've got fighters from Russia, the United States, and we've got former Olympic team members and some of the best fighters in mixed martial arts in the world here tonight.
Let's take a look at some of the featured matchups we'll have in tonight's 10-fight card. And there you see Kakareko against Kevin Cook.
This is going to be a phenomenal matchup. Let me talk a little bit about Kakareko. He comes out of Brazil where they fight Vale Tudo, which is anything goes, no holds barred down there, and it's bloody knuckles, no gloves, nothing. It's a lot more aggressive than what we see here in the States. But that guy comes from a long history of fighters in the Huas Vale Tudo camp. It's going to be a phenomenal fight.
Let's take a look at the second matchup of our featured bouts. Tommy Sauer, Vladimir Matyushenko. There's some bad blood here between these two, isn't there?
Absolutely. Tom Sauer does have a wrestling background. I know he mixes it up with some martial arts, some karate, and some striking. But I'll tell you, he's one strong man. I had the pleasure of rolling with Tom Sauer before this event, and he's submitting people left and right. Let me talk about Vladimir a little bit. He's a former member of the Russian Olympic team, now part of the Raw team. He, from what I understand, has the nickname the Janitor because he's known for mopping the floor with his opponents. This is going to be quite a fight. Both men extremely talented, both men extremely strong.
Let's take a look at the next matchup there, and it's Mark Robinson, Joe Leyva, and tell us about these two fighters.
Mark Robinson, he's one of the strongest men in the world. He's formally recognized as that. He's got quite a physique. I saw that man at weigh-in, and he is strong. Joe Leyva, on the other hand, has a phenomenal reach. In fact, he had the largest reach of all the fighters tonight. It's going to be a great fight. If Joe Leyva is able to keep him away with some jabs and use those hands, it could be an interesting outcome. But if Mark gets a hold of him, we'll have to see what happens.
Let's take a look at the next matchup. This is our featured matchup. There's a title on the line. Dean Thomas, Jens Pulver. Neither fighter thinks this thing's going to go the distance. What a fight this should be.
I agree. I'll tell you what, they're both extremely explosive fighters. Both of them are showmen. I know Dean Thomas has got some extremely quick hands. He's a great jiu-jitsu fighter on the ground, whereas Jens Pulver, known as the Pulverizer, comes out of the Militech fighting camp out of Iowa. He's got a phenomenal wrestling background. He's also a great grappler and an awesome striker. He's knocked out his last couple opponents with his left hook, so this will be a great match, very explosive as a final fight.
Boy, that'll be something we look forward to. Hey, it is no holds barred, NHB, but there are some rules really for the safety of the fighters. Let's take a look at some of the key rules in tonight's event. And Jay, no biting, no gouging, no fish hooking, no headbutts, no striking the ground. There's actually 3 pages of rules that the fighters got last night at the rules meeting, but those are all for the safety of the fighters, aren't they?
Absolutely. We've got to keep this civil somewhat. It's not quite like the Vale Tudos down in Brazil. This is still America. But these fighters are all sportsmen, and they're here just to do a sport. It's nothing personal. It's all business once they get in the ring.
Well, let's get right down to business as well. A great crowd on hand tonight, a great atmosphere, and let's get things going. Let's go to the ring, and TJ Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rival Fight Gear, your leader in no-holds-barred clothing, presents New Blood Conflict, Augusta, Georgia. Are you ready? I said Augusta, Georgia. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show started. We're gonna meet the ring girls with some very special transportation. Ladies and gentlemen, these will be your ring girls for this evening. Chosen from all over the South, only the finest girls for the finest fight show in the world, New Blood Conflict. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? You want to see these ladies a little closer? That's not going to do it. I said, you want to see a little bit more of these ladies? Let's get them down to the cage. Once again, your ring girls for this big 10-fight card tonight, culminating with the world title bout between Jens the Pulverizer Pulver and D. Thomas. Come on down here, girls. Thank you, ladies. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, they're awful beautiful. You didn't come here to see ring girls. You came to New Blood Conflict, and we're gonna see fireworks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready?
Tim Stamper is the third member of our broadcast crew, and guys, let's take a look at the first matchup for tonight's card. Chad Saunders and Stephen Broughman as they get set to get things going before a very nice crowd and a little bit on the rowdy side as well, and that's what we like it here in Augusta, Georgia. Chad Saunders, Stephen Broughman is making his way out of the ring. It's going to be Chad Saunders first. Our first fight of 10. On a tremendous card in Augusta, Georgia. It will all culminate with Dean Thomas and Jens Pulver later. There you see Chad Saunders and Jay, this guy coming in ready to fight.
Yeah, Chad Saunders has a Valley Judo background with a no-holds-barred record of 9-0. He was the Extreme Cage Combat Lightweight Champion in 1999, the Full Contact World Lightweight Champion in 2000, and a two-time World Extreme Fighting veteran.
Let's take a look at some of the strong points of Chad Saunders and Tim submissions, conditioning, patience.
Yes, those are all very true. Chad, actually at the young age of 18 years old, is a very seasoned fighter, and I think we're going to see all three of those attributes come into play this evening.
So Chad Saunders and his opponent getting set to make his way down into the octagon, into the cage, is Stephen Broughman, who is 11 years older than Chad Saunders. We'll talk more about Saunders, although he's just 18. He's been around already, has had a few fights, but here comes Stephen Broughman, a 29-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia. 5'9", 159, Jay.
Yeah, Steve Broughman has he's an ex-police officer with a law background. His disciplines are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. The last person he fought in a no-holds-barred competition, he had a 50-second submission via an armbar over his last opponent. So this could end quickly.
Stephen Broughman will take a look at some of his strong suits as well and have a chance to break that down for you. There you see it, Tim.
Yes, here we see that he has very fast hands, kicks and submissions, as Jay said, holding a 50-second win over his last opponent via submission.
Take a look at the tail of the tape and break it down for you by the numbers and compare these two fighters, Chad Saunders and Stephen Broughman. There you see Stephen Broughman making his way into the ring right now, and the tail of the tape shows that 11-year age difference in favor of Broughman. Height nearly the same. Saunders a little bit heavier and has a slight reach advantage as well. Let's go to the ring and get the introductions with TJ Thompson. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for action. The fighter standing behind me, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing at 165 pounds, resides in Fort Pierce, Florida. Please welcome Chad Saunders. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighing at 159 pounds. From Atlanta, Georgia, Stephen Broughman. This match will be refereed by the president of North American Grappling Association, Pulver. It will be on his command.
Well, there you go. Stephen Broughman and Chad Saunders. Kip Pulver is our official. And we are just about ready to get going with the first event of the evening in what promises to be an incredible card in Augusta, Georgia, before a very enthusiastic crowd. Pulver getting ready to bring the two fighters to the center of the ring, and we are underway. Our first fight of the night, Saunders and Broughman.
There we see Saunders and Broughman in a classic wrestling tie-up position there.
Saunders on his back, Broughman on top. Saunders, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to mention there we see Saunders already being very aggressive, working, for an arm lock or a triangle there, with the open guard style.
Stephen Broughman now.
Saunders has got an arm. He's cranking, straightening the legs. He's got a tap out. It's over.
It is over. So Chad Saunders gets the win as Stephen Broughman had to tap out early in this fight. Chad Saunders, 18 years old, a young man that used to have to get mom and dad's permission to fight at the age of 17. But Chad Saunders comes up with a win, and a quick one at that. I think the crowd really not understanding what happened as you see the two fighters come to the ring. Let's get TJ Thompson and his announcement.
39 seconds, round number 1, armbar submission, Chad Saunders.
Hey, Ian, I think it was good for the fans to see that early because the fans are probably going to see a lot of fighting out of the guard position. And as people can see, just because a man's on his back, it's an extremely offensive position. They can be deadly. There's several submissions that can be entered into out of that position. So Saunders was showing us exactly how it's done. Textbook here. You see him trap the arm, and you'll see if you watch his right leg, it's going to walk over the head as he pushes his other hand. Now he's trapped the arm, and you've got an isolated limb against the two legs and the arms of Saunders, and there's no way he's going to win that. Excellent.
Here's another look at it, Tim.
Yeah, actually, to follow up what Jay said, at that point there's not much to do. I think Broughman was more worried about it popping the elbow capsule than defending it because Chad had it locked in so quickly. A lot of people that know Chad Saunders knows that he's very promising and he's an up-and-coming fighter in his weight class.
Boy, what a win by Chad Saunders, 39 seconds in, and it was over, and it was over quickly. Fans here kind of stunned, not sure what happened. Well, what happened was Chad Saunders came up with a big win. Let's take a look at the next matchup. Alexandre Ferreira, they go by Kakareko against Kevin Cook. One of our featured matchups. We talked about that in the open. This should be a dandy as Kakareko makes his way into the ring. Our second fight of the night.
Kakareko represents the Brazilian fighting art of luta libre. He comes out, which is a freestyle fighting. You'll see a lot of groundwork out of him, a lot of jiu-jitsu style maneuvers, and he's a specimen when you look at his strength and his body toning.
5'7", but almost 200 pounds, and he is put together. Alexandre Ferreira again goes by Kakareko. Boy, what a specimen. Tim, there we break it down what he does best.
There we see Kakareko doing as what Ian pointed out he does best. He's very well versed in different styles of chokes, grounded, pound, and conditioning.
Kakareko, a guy not only put together, but a guy that comes with a little bit of a reputation for being a little bit of a dirty fighter, but he does not agree.
A explicação é que eu treino bastante, treino muito.
He practices very hard and very intensely, and his game is to end the fight fast without hurting himself or the other guy.
So that Kakareko, he's ready to get going. He does what it takes to win. A guy that's going to try to knock him off. Heading out right now is Kevin Cook.
Kevin Cook trains out of Tiger's World. He has a pro no-holds-barred record of 11-1, so he's extremely formidable. He's the former World Extreme Fighting middleweight champion and the 1998 Extreme Fight champion out of Tampa, Florida. This guy is awesome.
5'6", 189, so he doesn't give away much in terms of size to Kakareko, just about 11 pounds. Take a look at what Kevin Cook does best, his profile that Tim will break down for you as Kevin Cook makes his way to the ring, Tim.
Kevin Cook bringing to the cage a very strong and aggressive style of ground attacking. He's well versed in stand-up as far as his sprawling and hands, and he has great endurance.
Kevin Cook and Kakareko. Kevin Cook not really worried about the reputation of Kakareko being dirty.
I'll tell you, they say that about some of the...
dirty, but if you got to do what you got to do to win. The ref don't see it. Oh well, you know what I mean? I got to keep on going, doing my thing. The main thing I'm trying to do is just stick to my game plan and just hopefully that right there should be enough to get me a win on it.
Well, it sets up to be a pretty good fight. Kevin Cook and Kakareko. Let's take a quick look at some of the numbers. Match these two fighters up, tail of the tape. As Kevin Cook and Kakareko get set to go at it. There you see Kakareko, Ferreira. 5 years younger, similar height, just a slight weight difference. Big reach advantage, though, for Kakareko, about 4.5 inches. Let's go to the ring, and TJ Thompson with the introductions. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter standing behind me, 5'7" tall, weighing at 196.5 pounds. He's from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Alexandre Ferreira, Kakareko. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, 5'6" tall, weighing at 189 pounds. From Lakeland, Florida, Kevin Thunder Cook. On Kid's command.
Kevin Cook and Kakareko getting set to go at it. Guys, the last fight lasted all of 39 seconds. This one going to go a little longer, do you think?
Oh, most definitely. Both of these fighters have something to prove, and I don't think they're going to be able to prove what they want that quick.
Kip Kolar, the official, and he gets set to bring the fighters to the middle of the ring, and he does so. Kevin Cook in the all-black trunks, Kakareko, multicolored trunks, and here they go. 4-minute rounds. And this is the first of 3.
Kakareko's got a quick hand there.
They're just going toe-to-toe, and now Kakareko gets Cook down.
You can see Cook go to that classic guard to try and protect himself.
Cook and Kakareko just standing up and throwing bombs at first before Cook now up against the
You can see Cook has his right arm, his punching arm, trapped in between his bicep there, and Kakareko's trying to break it free so he can deliver some blows. It looks like Kakareko's working his left knee over into a mount. Kevin Cook's trying to keep the guard.
Couple right hands by
Kakareko's got the mount. He's going to walk him away from the fence and try and work some ground and pound here.
Two very strong guys. Kakareko, though, trying to throw a left hand. It was blocked by Cook. Now he gets a right free.
This is a very difficult position for the man on bottom. He can get no punching power as Kakareko has the leverage. Looks like there's a tap out.
That's it. It's over.
Not due to blows.
Well, this one lasted just about 1 minute and 29 seconds. And it is over Kakareko, over Kevin Cook. And there you see the sportsmanship exhibited by the two fighters.
For a man with a dirty background, that was certainly a clean fight, I would say. They touched gloves at the beginning and ended peacefully.
Official time, 1 minute, 28 seconds, round number 1. Tap out due to punches. Alexandre Ferreira, Kakareko!
So Kakareko at 128 of the first round, another quick fight. Tap out due to punches. Did Cook tap out? It's hard to tell, or did Kim Kolar actually stop the fight, guys?
No, actually, I believe we'll see on the replay, Ian, that Kevin Cook did tap out. He used his right hand to tap the mat here.
Let's take a look at the replay right here. Guys, take us through it.
Here, we see Kakareko with establishing the full mount, and he's just pinching the head, holding the head down as he punches with the other arm. Classic lutte livre, and Kevin Cook responds by tapping.
Right there, you saw the right hand come out of Kevin Cook, and Jay, he was in trouble.
Oh, he was in trouble. Whenever you get past that guard and you get your legs over the hips there's not a lot that the fighter on the bottom can do.
Well, there you go. It's over. Kakareko with the win. And let's go to the ring. TJ Thompson standing by with the winner. TJ.
Kakareko, I'll tell you what, we've been waiting a long time to see you here in America. You lived up to your billing. You came out, you threw some big punches early on in the fight. I don't know if your opponent was expecting that. Was that your strategy?
Ele está falando que há muito tempo que eles estão querendo te ver nos Estados Unidos e você realmente superou todas as expectativas. Você sai dando um soco, era isso que você estava esperando?
Era isso porque eu fiz uma preparação muito forte, muito boa com meus professores Beto Leitão, o seu Leitão e o Pedro Rizzo, que me deram a maior força e por isso que eu estou aqui.
He's been practicing very hard and thanks to Beto Leitão and Pedro Rizzo, thanks to them and all the hard work they put in him, that's how he managed to do this.
Do you enjoy fighting away from home? Is this the furthest you fought away from home?
Você gosta de lutar fora de casa? Esse é o mais longe que já lutou fora de casa?
Eu já lutei, fiz alguma luta na Holanda, em Aruba, mas o meu objetivo maior é vir para os Estados Unidos.
He's fought in Holland and Aruba, but his biggest objective was to fight here in the U.S.
We're going to see him fight another time here in New Blood Conflict. Will he be fighting again in New Blood Conflict?
Você vai lutar de novo aqui no New Blood Conflict aqui nos Estados Unidos?
Eu pretendo sempre que tiver esse evento vir lutar. Eu fui bem recebido e os promotores do evento são ótimos.
Yes, he wants to come back always. He was very well received here, and he hopes to come back at every time.
Congratulations, Kakareko. Back to you, Ian.
All right, TJ Thompson, Kakareko. Yes, as Jay mentioned, a guy that's supposed to be a dirty fighter, a lot of sportsmanship, happy to be here, and this fight being shown live in Brazil tonight. You got to think right now they're jumping up and down in Rio de Janeiro as Kakareko comes up with the win. Another quick one in our second fight here tonight as we move on to our next matchup of the evening. We've had two quick ones early on. Shane Dunn against Dave Harris. They are coming out in just a couple moments to get things going. An interesting matchup between these two. Shane Dunn.
I'll tell you what's most interesting about Shane Dunn is he is self-trained. He's a senior at the University of Southern Florida, represents freestyle fighting. He has a no-holds-barred record of 3-1. He fought over 30 minutes against the Carlson Gracie black belt, Ricardo de la Riva. And he served 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, so he's got to be one finely conditioned athlete.
A number of military or ex-military men in tonight's card. Shane Dunn, one of those. You see him come out 6 feet 163. Fairly tall and lanky fighter, but as you can see, well put together as well as Shane Dunn hits the ring for our third fight of the night. And Tim, there you see
Shane
what
Dunn brings to the cage: submissions, takedowns, and conditioning.
Shane Dunn is a guy that really likes no holds barred fighting. He talks about why.
It's one-on-one. It's just you in there. You know, there's no equipment advantage. You know, there's no team to rely on. It's just you in there, and I like that. I like to test myself, and I think this is a great way to do that.
Well, he's hoping to have a great night as well, because his opponent, who is making his way out to the ring in just a moment, is Dave Harris, Jay.
Yeah, Dave Harris is also representing freestyle fighting, and one of the big wins of his career, he had beaten Jens Pulver, our main event fighter, early on in Jens' career. He beat him at the Boss Rutan Invitational, so he can be an exciting fighter. Looks like he's coming into the ring in a gi. I'm not sure if he's going to wear that or he'll probably dismantle it.
5'11", 164 from Tucson, Arizona is Dave Harris. Interesting stories going to college right now, University of Arizona. We'll talk about that as the fight goes on. Take a look at some of the strengths of Dave Harris as he gets set to take on
Dave
Shane
Harris
Dunn.
brings to the cage his well-rounded ability to fight on his feet and on the bottom. He has strong Muay Thai skills as well as well-versed in jiu-jitsu.
Well, Dave Harris, as we mentioned, going to school, he's studying engineering at the University of Arizona. He likes to combine his education with his no-holds-barred fighting as well.
Okay, well, I'm a physics engineering major at the University of Arizona, and it's a pretty tough field. They put a lot of demands on us as far as homework and tests, and I really love NHB, and I think it's great because I get to mesh the two together, because I get to focus my mind in the training, and it keeps me centered. You know, if you have too much of one thing, if I have too much of just school, then I have trouble focusing on the school part. If I have too much of just fighting, I have trouble focusing on just the fighting part. And so the fighting helps me get through school financially as well as mentally.
So Dave Harris, the young man going to school, and let's take a look at the tail of the tape, how these two fighters match up. Dunn, 5 years older. Dunn, a slight height advantage, almost the same weight, and a very close reach as well. Hey, let's go to the ring for the announcement for tonight's fight. TJ Thompson, TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter standing to my rear, 6 foot tall, 163 pounds, from St. Petersburg, Florida, Shane Dunn. His opponent tonight, 5 foot 11 inches tall, weighing at 164.5 pounds, from Tucson, Arizona, Dave Harris. On Kip Kohler's command.
So Dave Harris and Shane Dunn set to go, and we've had a couple quick fights early on, guys. You expect to see this one last a little longer. I've asked you that now twice tonight after the two first fights we've had.
Well, actually, since they're both freestyle fighters, it'll be interesting to see where this one goes. We'll see how quickly they get in there and mix up the action.
Harris in the black trunks. Shane Dunn goes right after him.
Shane goes early for a double leg, and that was textbook. Now he's trying to slide into a side mount. Harris is trying to guard, and now they're back. Dunn falls back into the guard. He's tying up the punching arm. Again, this is an extremely offensive position for the man on the bottom. We'll see what he can do with it. Looks like he's working a triangle over the shoulder. Harris needs to be careful. If he turns his hip on that, he could lock it in. He's got an arm also. You can see him trying to slide sideways out of it. He's going to a key lock from the triangle.
Take a look at it. We're just 45 seconds into this fight.
You can see Harris grabbing the side of his shorts. That's the only thing that's keeping his arm from going over there. Now he's stepping over Dunn's head with his right leg, and he rolls out of the triangle. Excellent technical maneuver by Dave Harris.
Dave Harris studying aerospace engineering at Arizona, and he used some physics right there to get out of that tough position.
You can see him walking that guard up high in the shoulders to keep his fighter down on him.
Dunn on the bottom, Harris on the top.
Shane Dunn is awfully comfortable there. Just this last time he volunteered and gave up a position on his feet that could have went to his feet to fall to his back, where he thinks he's better at. He has real good
Looks like
hips.
he's working a leg submission.
He has real good jiu-jitsu hips. He's very light and mobile on the ground, and you can see that when he's going for different submissions on the ground.
Good Shane Dunn on the bottom there in that guard position, and Dave Harris, a couple right hands to the body it looks like, and those guys probably wear a guy down and take their toll after a while, don't they, guys?
Absolutely. You can see Dunn start to work an elevator. They fall back into the guard position. Now Harris is starting to throw some leather on him.
Oh, a couple tremendous right hands.
Shane Dunn's going to need to drop that elbow to block those ribs because those will add up.
You can hear how heavy those punches were. Switch over to the left hand now as well. Midway through the first round. Compared to our first two fights, this is a marathon. Only in the first round as a left just misses from Harris.
I'll tell you, Harris ought to really try and work his way out of the guard because he's going to waste a lot of energy trying to deliver some damaging blows. Shane Dunn has an excellent guard, and he's working a lot of submissions from there, so if Harris isn't careful and gets tired, he could get caught.
Left hand to the side of the head.
Oh, he's going to grab his heels and pull back and sit up into a mount. He's got a heel hook. He's got to roll out of that or he'll be tapping.
Take a look at Dunn on the right.
That hurts. Harris has got an excellent heel hook in and he's cranking it. Shane Dunn's going to need to keep rolling into it. He's going to break it. He's back out of it.
Oh, that's a great move, isn't it, by Shane Dunn?
Absolutely. He's got to be one tough guy to withstand that heel hook because it was in. There's some... Looks like Shane Dunn's going to let him back up.
There you go. Those two back up, and Harris goes right in after Shane Dunn.
Dunn better watch those knees. Harris is pretty tricky with them.
Nearing the end of the first round, 10 seconds left. 10 seconds. You can hear the corners yelling 10 seconds, giving their fighters the time.
Looks like they're content to just ride out the round.
That'll be it. First round comes to an end. Pretty good first round between Dave Harris, who you see right there, and Shane Dunn in the blue trunks on the other side. Guys, your thoughts on that first round, Jay?
Well, I thought both fighters were extremely active. Dave Harris appears to be a little more of a striker, and Shane Dunn appears to not really look for the strikes as much as he does submissions. But he almost got caught at his own game when Harris caught that heel, but he was luckily able to roll out of it. Tim, what do you think?
I also believe that it was a very active first round, but I do see Shane Dunn taking the advantage later on over Dave Harris.
Some of the sights and sounds of Augusta, Georgia, letting you know it's round number 2 coming up here in just a moment. We take a look at our fighter Dave Harris right there. What an unbelievable story. A senior at the University of Arizona, physics engineering, wants to work for NASA someday in the world of aerospace. Got to think he's probably the toughest student down at U of A, wouldn't you think?
I would certainly say it's at least the bravest.
You know what? He's the toughest guy in the world of engineering. I got to think that.
Absolutely.
No pocket protectors here as they get back at it, round number 2.
Dunn's got the back of Harris. There's turning into an excellent takedown.
Nice back leg trip by Shane Dunn there. Shane Dunn working his back, what he should do.
Harris able to spin back out in front. Trying to get a knee. Great look at it there from our tremendous crew we have here in Augusta tonight, giving you all the action. We are early in round number 2.
Shane Dunn is content to just pull Harris into his guard so he can try and work some submissions. Looks like he's already getting a hold of an arm and working a leg up.
Right hand there by Harris. We saw a lot of right hands in that first round to the body of Harris, or body of Dunn rather, from Harris. Tries to get it loose again. So continue to grapple on the mat. Move towards the middle of the ring. Real quick, Jay, who would you have given the first round to?
I'll tell you, it was extremely close. There was a near submission on Dave Harris's part. Shane Dunn had a couple, but if I had to go on the strikes and the near submission, I'd probably just by a slight edge give it to Dave Harris, but it's a very tough one to call.
Tim, put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. I've been on the spot before, so I'm not afraid to say Shane Dunn.
Split decision amongst our guest analysts here tonight, our experts, which would probably lead you to believe the judges are thinking the same thing. So anybody's fight here as we are 1:45 into round number 2. A knee there from Harris.
You can see Shane Dunn trying to walk the guard back around, trying to re-guard by bringing his right leg underneath. He hasn't quite got it.
Midway through this second round.
Harris looks like he's got his elbow pinned behind the head and is delivering those blows with his left hand.
Couple lefts there from Harris.
You see Shane Dunn on the bottom working back into a half guard or a half mount for Dave Harris.
You see Harris lock up that ankle to keep that right leg of Dunn's from sliding through and getting full guard. Both fighters are extremely technical.
Much of a chess match as anything, and there you see a couple right-hand bombs from Dave Harris. And another combination from Harris.
Harris has got that right arm. He ought to take it and perhaps throw his leg over. He might have an arm bar.
Oh, a huge right hand from Harris, and this thing is over. Dunn, good night. Shane Dunn taking some bombs from Dave Harris. And you talked about it, Jay. He set him up, didn't he?
Absolutely. Looks like he had great positioning in that half guard. He was working those strikes. I'll tell you, Shane Dunn looks fatigued.
Shane Dunn is fatigued. He took a couple ones right on the button. Let's go to the ring. And TJ Thompson with the announcement of tonight's decision in our third fight. TJ.
Official time, 2 minutes, 52 seconds, round number 2. The winner, tap out due to strikes, Dave Harris.
So Dave Harris, the winner at 2:59 in the second round, and keeps his title as the toughest engineering student in North America right now, with some big bombs against Shane Dunn. Guys, let's take a look at the replay and break it down for everybody.
Here we see Shane Dunn still in the half guard and Dave Harris in the half mount, and he's just capitalizing on his position by throwing punches, and he looks like he connected on 2 or 3 and was able to make Dunn tap.
You know, one thing you notice, no holds barred fighting. We talked about it, Jay and I did in the open, as we see Dave Harris celebrating. There's still a lot of sportsmanship, and maybe more than anything, there's a lot of respect for these guys out there as well. As Dave Harris knew it was over, he got right up. I mean, there was no messing around. We talked earlier about Kakareko, dirty fighter. Hey, respect is probably the name of the game as much as anything, isn't it, guys?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's correct, very correct.
All right, time now to set up our next fight, and it's been a great card so far. John Horning, Mike Farrow. Horning and Farrow as they get set to come on down, and these are two big guys. John Horning.
They nicknamed this guy John the Law. He has a law background, SWAT team, and police officer, and he's currently the arm wrestling champion in the Police Olympics, so you know he's going to have some heavy strikes.
John Horning ready to make his way out. SWAT team member as well. 6'1", 216 and a half from Tampa Bay, Florida for John Horning. Let's take a look at some of his strengths and let Tim break that down for you. As
John Horning bringing to the cage submission skills, very good in chokes, and lots of upper body strength.
Jay mentioned his work in the world of law enforcement, and his background in mixed martial arts also helps him in his everyday work as a policeman.
Nice thing about the jiu-jitsu is apprehending suspects without injuring them in any way. So it's very advantageous. When you can take a suspect down, handcuff them without leaving any injuries on them at all, of course you're going to run into a lot less trouble.
John Horning, and he's getting set to take on Mike Farrow. Jay, tell us about Mike Farrow a little bit.
I'll tell you what, Mike Farrow's trained by the local DA here, the assistant DA, Mike Carlson, who owns a martial arts school here in town. He trains jiu-jitsu and MYB kickboxing, and this guy is strong. He has a no-hold-barred record of 3-0. He's a former U.S. pro rodeo bull rider and a former bodybuilding champion. I had the honor of rolling with him before coming in here, and he is quite a specimen. His strength is incredible. The man looks like he barely has a neck, and he'd be difficult to choke out.
Tim, break us down his stats for you, or just some of what his strengths are.
Farrow bringing into the cage his strength, his submission, and extra patience in order to capitalize on what you may or don't.
Well, you can tell by the reaction of the crowd here, the hometown boy, Mike Farrow, they're excited to see him. He's excited to fight here in Augusta.
I'm glad that yes, did come to Augusta so I could fight in front of my hometown, in front of a lot of the people I know, the people that work, that support me, all the guys in my dojo that support me. So I'm really proud to fight in Augusta.
All right, let's take a quick look at the tail of tape between these two big men, Horning and Farrow. There you see Horning 7 years older. Horning has a slight height advantage, about 3 inches. Farrow a little bit heavier, and Horning has a reach advantage. TJ, let's get the introductions. TJ.
The fighter standing behind me, 5 foot 10 inches tall, 216 and a half pounds. From Tampa Bay, Florida, John Horning. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighed in at 218 pounds. He's from Augusta, Georgia. Please welcome on Kip's command.
Well, Mike Farrow, John Horning, and this crowd, if it wasn't buzzing before, which it was, they're on their feet right now to watch Mike Farrow from Augusta against John Horning. Horning. Oh, that'll be the man with a mustache, Farrow from Augusta. And they are ready to get going. Some sportsmanship right off the bat as they get set to go.
Horning's feinting a kick there. I wonder if he's got some strong kicks. Absolutely. You can see a nice side kick, countered by Mike Farrow with a round kick to the leg.
They tie up right away.
You can see Farrow's tremendous strength the way he drove the big man back into the fence. Lifts him and slams him into a side mount.
What a slam by Farrow!
And you know John Horning's no small man.
John Horning, 6'1", almost 217 pounds. But he's on his backside right now as big Mike Farrow dropped him.
That's a testament to the strength of Mike Farrow coming into this fight. Looks like Horning's working him back into the guard position.
Mike Farrow's doing what he needs to do, and since John Horning is the bigger man, you want to take that bigger man and pinch him up against the cage and try to eliminate some of his movement and some of his strength, and try to capitalize on that as much as possible.
Trying to work, looks like that forearm over his Farrow. Oh, look at the strength of both these guys. Great matchup between two big men.
And that was excellent jiu-jitsu skill by Mike Farrow to pass the guard and get to the outside of the side mount. This is where he can really work some submissions and strikes. You can see the elbows coming already. He's putting that palm on the sweaty forehead and dropping the elbow. That is brutal.
Oh, there's a big, big left hand by Farrow.
You can see Horning trying to pull him back into the guard, trying to slip that right knee through to get the protection of the guard right back in.
Horning, 34 years old, showing some experience there. Farrow looked like he had him in trouble for a minute.
Tim, what do you think Horning needs to do from this position?
He's doing it right now. He needs to be a lot more active.
Farrow's not careful. He's going to catch that arm.
That's it.
It's a tap out.
It is over. And I'll tell you what, you guys called it. You saw it. As just like that, John Horning able to get Mike Farrow to tap out.
I think that's good for the fans to see that guard position can be an extremely offensive position for the bottom fighter.
Boy, it's amazing how quick the tide can turn in NHB. As that thing was over, you guys stalled it. You saw it coming, and unfortunately, Mike Farrow did not see it coming. TJ Thompson, let's get the official word on tonight's decision.
Official time, 2 minutes, 11 seconds, round number 1 by armbar submission. John Horning. Put a round of applause for Mike Farrow, ladies and gentlemen.
So John Horning gets the win at armbar. And again, two big guys as well, showing some sportsmanship as they head out of the ring. And what an unbelievable turn of events. As we take a look at the replay, and guys, break it down because, Jay, you saw this coming. Here's the slam. First of all, this was early in the fight when Farrow looked to be in control.
Absolutely. He's in the side mount right now, and you can see, here's where Horning's getting that. He's pushing the head with the palm and getting that left leg over the head, and he's getting that arm. Farrow was concentrating too much on delivering punches, and he left his right arm vulnerable.
Well, it was over at that point. The crowd not really sure. A lot of them wanted actually
Look at the two men shake hands and hug. Tremendous sportsman.
That's the big thing about it. We talked about it earlier. NHP was all about sportsmanship. Jamie Levine joins us now, the promoter of tonight's fight. Jamie, thanks a lot. It's good having you come by.
Hi, thank you.
You have big news to tell us about, don't you?
Yeah, actually, I want to announce to Brazil and all over the world that we're on tonight that our next event will be in São Paulo, Brazil on November 18th. So all the Sport TV fans and everybody down at Globosat and in Brazil, we are going to be there, definitely November 18th.
Stick around through this fight, will you? We'll just
Absolutely,
stick around for a minute. We'll talk to you a little bit more about what's going on as we get ready for our next fight. What a great card so far. You've had some quick fights, but good fights at that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to match them up to the best, to the best that I think that the fighters will match up to each other. Fortunately, I like to see fights go the distance, but that's the name of the game. This is NHB, and anything can happen anytime.
Well, we've had great action so far. Let's take a look at tonight's next matchup. Paul Rodriguez and Phil Johns coming up. And Jamie, jump in anytime you want as you take a seat. Jamie Levine here. As Paul Rodriguez makes his way out into the ring, guys.
Paul Rodriguez is a 4-time World Extreme Fighting veteran. He's trained by Din Thomas out of the Rival Fighting Team. He has a professional no-holds-barred record of 11-3. And Jamie, tell us what you think about this guy.
Yeah, Jamie, you know something about Rival, don't you?
Rival, yeah, I do own Rival Fight Gear. I do sponsor fighters. Actually, Paul Rodriguez, I train with him every day. Him and Dean Thomas and a number of other Rival fighters on this team. This is out of my camp out of Orlando, Florida.
As Paul Rodriguez makes his way to the ring, Jamie, you can kind of break down his strengths. We'll see him up on the screen here. As there you see what Paul Rodriguez does best, Jamie.
Yeah, he is incredibly fast. His conditioning is great. And in the ground game, he's going to look for submissions as fast as possible. I know that he works very, very hardly on the conditioning and his submission. So look for he's going to try to end this thing quick.
Phil Johns will be his opponent, who we'll see in just a moment as Paul Rodriguez is getting set for our fight, and his opponent, Phil Johns, here in Augusta, Georgia tonight.
Phil Johns is a phenomenal fighter. He's been around for a long time. He has a no-holds-barred fighting record of 23-8 and 17-2 as a lightweight. He's a Division II NCAA National Wrestling Champ, Illinois State High School Wrestling Champ, 4-time All-American Wrestling Champ, Hook and Shoot Lightweight Champ, Extreme Challenge Junior Lightweight Champ. He is an Ironheart Crown Champion and an SBC Champion. This guy has a phenomenal
Phil Johns is stepping up to this weight class. He usually fights at under 155. He is stepping up and to showcase his wrestling and his submission striking. He's going to definitely give Paul Rodriguez a run for his money. Like I said, this is the heaviest that Phil Johns has ever fought.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, how these two guys match up. And there you see Johns jumping up. He's 163 now. He gives up some height to Rodriguez. The reach also in Rodriguez's favor. Let's go to TJ Thompson as we get set for the introduction of Rodriguez and Johns. TJ!
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter standing behind me, 5'7" tall, weighing in at 165 pounds. He's from Orlando, Florida, Paul Rodriguez. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 5'2" tall, weighing in at 163 pounds, from Canton, Illinois, Phil Johns. On Kick Pulver's command.
Well, there you go. It's going to be Paul Rodriguez and Phil Johns, and Rodriguez will be in the blue, Phil Johns in the black as they get set to go at it. We've had a great night so far of fighting. Guys, how long do you expect? Jamie, we've been joking about it all night. Quick fights, good fights, but quick fights. A little longer this one, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think Phil Johns is going to try to take him down, ground and pound him. Paul Rodriguez is going to be able to defend a lot. Believe me, I know this guy. I've seen this guy plenty of times. I train with him every day. This guy is tough. That's on, Paul.
There you see him hook up right off the bat.
Paul Rodriguez just had a Greco-Roman upper body throw. You can see Rodriguez trying to work the guard. He's in a three-quarter guard right now, and Phil Johns is trying to bring that left knee up into the armpit to prevent the guard.
So again, Phil Johns on top, and down below the guard position is Rodriguez. Early on, 4-minute round, 30 seconds in. They grapple around. Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul Rodriguez is probably going to go for armbar submission right away right now. Phil Johns is giving up a lot of height advantage. He is going to try to punch Rodriguez, but it's going to be very difficult with his reach disadvantage.
Johns, of course, is a guy that has a great, extensive wrestling background, as Jay mentioned. And
yeah, he is. Like I said, he is giving up some, stepping up through this weight class. And Paul Rodriguez is very comfortable with this weight class.
How tough is it, guys, to step up in a weight class? I mean, sometimes you hear about guys stepping down, trying to lose weight, stepping up. More difficult?
Yes, much more difficult. Your body fat is up, and you maybe a little less conditioned. Paul Rodriguez is going to try to stand up here.
You can see the shoulder clash there.
Yeah.
Oh, Rodriguez is
Rodriguez had a nice takedown there.
He's going to watch Rodriguez try and work that right leg free so he can come into a full mount.
Rodriguez, as well as training with Jamie here, also with Dean Thomas, so we will see later in our main event. Yes, Jens Pulver.
You can see Rodriguez working that left hand to the face of Phil Johns, trying to break through it. Phil sliding him right into the guard.
Yeah, Paul's going to go for a side mount here or go to a leg submission very shortly. That's my opinion. I mean, that's what he's going to work for. He's going to work to keep this fight going a little bit, try to fatigue Phil Johns, and then go for a submission.
So, Jamie, how about your team rival tonight? They've fared quite well. There's only been one loss, and all the rest have been victories. What do you think of that?
Yeah, my Orlando guys, team rival, Florida guys are representing in the house tonight. I mean, it's definitely a we come out to put on the best fight we can. We're also bringing the team rival guys down to São Paulo, Brazil on November 18th. I just want to mention anybody down there that does want some rival fight gear. www.WWE.
You can see a spectacular move there. He falls right back into the guard there. That's right. There is the launch of a new website for the WEF called www.wefonline.com.
There you see again, it's Phil Johns. Phil Johns on the bottom, that interesting story. Physical education teacher by trade as well. A guy that has quite the background as a wrestler, but also as a teacher. Doesn't have a lot of guys smarting off to him in class. Back home in Canton, Illinois, 31 years old. Paul Rodriguez, 25-year-old from Orlando now, trying to get the left free.
Looks like Paul's content to work some strikes from the guard position. I'm sure he's just trying to wear Phil Johns down a little bit so he can get past it. But Phil Johns is tying him up nicely and trying to wear him down. Looks like he's trying to trap a right arm there of Rodriguez.
Again, they tie up. Just about 30 seconds to go in this first round. Rodriguez glancing right hand. Phil Johns, 20 seconds left. More than likely, guys probably thinking, let's just get out of this first round. His corner, I'm sure, telling him how much time's left.
Yeah, I'm sure they're telling him to hold out there, hold out. And Paul's trying to move into the cage with 9 seconds left.
I'll tell you, this is a testament to Paul Rodriguez's grappling skills.
Whoa, what a right hand.
Wow, flurry at the...
Look out, this could be over at the end of the round. Oh, kick, jumps in.
What a flurry by Paul Rodriguez with 10 seconds left in the round.
Jamie, we've noticed that throughout the night. We've had guys, it's been aggressive. Just when you think guys might slow it down and maybe take the easy way out and get to the end of the round. You don't have any fighters here that are doing that tonight, do you?
We'll really see that.
You can see Rodriguez there delivering the kick. Now watch this. as he drops into a powerful right hand, dropping with an elbow. Another right hand, another right hand. And Phil Johns is trying to push him away with his hips, and he falls into form over the throat. Both fighters stand up, true sportsmen. You see him tap the stomach of his opponent there.
And that's the amazing thing. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, guys not willing to, not afraid to take a chance tonight. Instead of waiting for the last 5 seconds to go by, it's just go right back in there and be aggressive.
This is the new blood conflict, and what I'm trying to do is bring fighters in here. I'm not going to go with the old style type fighting anymore, where they're going to work positions more than I'm working for fights here. That's what my main goal is, to try to match fighters up, to just give the crowd the best fight possible.
I think the crowd agrees because they have been phenomenal tonight. What a great atmosphere here in Augusta, Georgia.
This is the biggest crowd that we at this organization has ever had.
Early on in the second round, 4-minute round. 3 times will go around as these two again get tangled up.
You see Paul Rodriguez content to fall back into the guard and just tie up that right punching arm of Phil Johns. Phil Johns is trying to work it free to create the space so he can do some striking.
The fans have seen tonight too, we've talked about it, Jay, a number of times, that guard position can be a dangerous position as well, and it can be an offensive position.
Absolutely, there's several submissions that can be done from the guard, so the guy on top has to be careful.
Just need to go back one fight to Farrow and Horning to see that. Just a few minutes ago, that was unbelievable.
It was a great fight, but anything can happen at any time.
Fans here in Augusta may be a little disappointed after Farrow started with that big flurry and the big slam.
Big slam and the strikes coming down with the elbow, yeah. I thought he was going to fare pretty well in the first round there.
Then you see Rodriguez is in the blue shorts, and on top, Phil Johns in the black shorts. Minute 20 into the second round. At what point, guys, does conditioning and endurance start to come into play in a fight? Second round, mostly?
At this level, no, it's not going to be a part of this. This is only 3-4 minutes.
Oh, look at that. Phil Johns goes to a mount. Rodriguez sits back and gets his knees back through and re-guards. Almost an elevator there.
Always looking for the sweep.
Talking about Paul Rodriguez, one of his strengths is speed as well, able to counter, isn't he?
Yeah, he has very good jiu-jitsu skills, and he always tried to sweep there. I don't know. I think he's pretty content right here. I mean, this is where he's comfortable. He's going to look for submissions. He's not a big striker, so
looks like they're going to stand him up to add some more action to the fight. Certainly, they want to please the fans here at the WEF.
Fans will appreciate that as Kip Kolar gets him back up and going again. Rodriguez on the right, Johns on the left of your screen.
Yeah, Kip's doing a great
nice
job.
Nice high kick by Rodriguez. Nice right hand jab by Phil Johns.
Understand the fans and a big takedown.
A takedown by. And the scoring on this, the takedowns really don't have any effect on the scoring at all. It's not a wrestling match; it is a fight, and so everybody likes the big takedowns and stuff. That really doesn't really fare too much in the scoring. The big slams, yes, they do, but the straight double legs and single legs and things like that doesn't really matter.
We haven't even had a chance to have our judges make a decision tonight, but real quick, go through what are the judges looking for? What does get you points?
Strikes, positioning, submission attempts, and total aggressionness.
Jamie, it's not often you see a 4-time All-American wrestling champ on his back. What do you think of Paul Rodriguez's grappling skills?
Like I said before, he works very, very hard in the grappling and submission grappling. He just placed second in the Abu Dhabi trials, losing only to Enzo's student Matt Serra due to a neck crank. He's a very tough individual.
Looks like Phil Johns is trying to hold. They're trying to hold a guillotine. He's not going to get it from the side. He needs to have full guard to really sink that in.
30 seconds left to go in round number 2. And Kip Kolar will jump in again and stand up the fighters, and that will make the fans here in Augusta extremely happy. These two have been up on top. They have really put on a show. Let's see if they do it again.
Paul Rodriguez with a nice try to head kick again. He sets that up. That's the third time he's tried that.
Oh, he's got a single leg. Look at that slam. Now that was a takedown. Looks like he just rolled out of the guillotine. Excellent.
What a win.
At the end of the last 2 rounds, Paul Rodriguez steps it up.
The corners of both men must be giving him time to saying, all right, 10 seconds, let's make something happen. And that's exactly what Rodriguez did for the second round in a row. A little bit of a nod on the head there of Rodriguez we see as they tend to him in the corner.
Actually, this was supposed to be Mike Cordoza, his corner guy there. This was supposed to be Mike Cordoza's fight. What happened was Mike Cordoza was scheduled to fight Phil Johns. At the last minute, Cordoza did back out. I don't know why. He didn't give a reason. That doesn't fare very well with this organization. But Paul Rodriguez's opponent was John Alessio, and he ended up getting hurt in training. So
let's look at this action here. You can see that single leg, and watch Paul Rodriguez pick up the 4-time NCAA champion wrestler and just slam him down. Now he had a guillotine there, Jamie, but it wasn't quite the proper position.
No, it wasn't sunk in. Here we go. Look at it again. Paul just lifts him, clears the legs, and passes and goes. You know, you can just commend Paul Rodriguez's his takedown ability, even clearing, passing the legs.
Here then a classic tie-up. Find some upper body throws.
Back to live action here in the third round, 4-minute rounds. See them tie up. Guys, would you give it to Rodriguez for the first 2 rounds?
I would have to say, with the slam and the strikes, it's a very close fight. It's difficult to call at this point, but some of the excitement, a lot of times when a fighter ends a round explosively, that can make an impact on the judges, and that's what Rodriguez has done.
Yes, I agree with that totally.
Judges tonight have had an easy night, haven't had to make a decision. There is overtime, though.
Yes, there is a 3-minute overtime, yes, if it's needed. Very rarely do we go into overtime.
You can see Phil Johns trying to walk Rodriguez into that fence to try and take away his angle on that guard.
Then Rodriguez on the bottom of the guard, and on top is Phil Johns. Former NCAA Division II national champion in wrestling is Johns.
Johns has had a lot of fights with the Extreme Challenge, the hook and shoot.
That's a pretty good opponent, Jens Pulver being one of them, who we'll see in the main event tonight.
Yes.
And it's standing back up again.
Kip is doing a great job in standing him up.
I'll tell you, Jamie, these guys are exciting strikers. Maybe they ought to stand their feet a little more.
You see a little blood coming from Rodriguez's head. His head's cut up pretty good. I don't know if that was from a strike or from the cage itself, or here goes Rodriguez again. So
the doctor actually checked that as Rodriguez throws some right hands. They checked it between rounds.
Yeah. So we do have a great medical staff here. Some of the top surgeons, emergency room surgeons, and emergency room physicians from the Augusta University Hospital as well as Atlanta. Our official fight doctor is Dr. John Keating. And Rodriguez is bleeding pretty good.
We are midway through, just past the midway point of the third round as they continue to go at it.
Rodriguez with almost a nice guard pass. He's now in the half guard of Phil Johns.
He still had a little bit of he needed to close the gap a little bit more on passing that guard. He still had too much distance. And that little bunny hop to try to jump across there.
Jamie, what do you think the advantage is of Rodriguez putting his left hand on that knee of Phil Johns, pushing it down, trying to slide that leg free?
Well, that's what he's trying to do. I mean, he's keeping busy up top also. Phil Johns is pretty much holding on right here. He can't let Rodriguez create the distance for the strikes right now.
Phil Johns recaptures the guard, it looks like.
Yeah, Phil Johns he is playing the open guard.
You see just about a minute left to go in the fight.
You can see Rodriguez just stepped over.
Rodriguez is keeping busy. This is what the judges are looking for. Phil Johns is holding. Rodriguez is still striking a lot. Phil really needs to try to work, trying to capture one arm, trying to get out of that, and try to stand back up.
Couple right hands a moment ago by Rodriguez. You can hear the corners in the background. They're yelling the timeout for both fighters. We've seen in the first 2 rounds, the end of the round, they have been excellent. Action-packed. We'll see if both fighters trying to get her going again.
Some nice elbows by Phil Johns there. He's trying to work that head cut on Rodriguez, but Rodriguez is delivering some good lefts to the head and he drops that arm.
Oh, there's a couple of right hands.
10 seconds
Rodriguez
left.
to the side mount. Again, another exciting
He's going right for a submission right now.
He's
He's try.
He's walking an arm.
He's trying to right back.
Well, a flurry of activity again at the end of the round. A lot of respect for those 2 fighters. Phil Johns raising his arms, but Paul Rodriguez Well, you see right there, guys, as Jamie mentioned, very busy, especially in maybe what would have been a decisive third round.
Yes, I do think he did pull it out with that flurry at the end. I mean, that is a criteria, aggressiveness and keep him busy. And that I think he edged it out there. I'm not really, I'm not the judge, and I've been wrong before, especially on a couple other fights.
You can see Rodriguez slip past the guard, deliver a couple right hands, push that knee down and slide into a side mount and deliver a couple lefts.
Great action. All 3 rounds, last 15-20 seconds, were just a flurry of activity between Phil Johns and Paul Rodriguez. TJ Thompson conferring with the judges. As soon as he has a decision, we will go to the ring, and I would assume a fairly tough decision. We'll wait and see what it is. Phil Johns faring much better than he did. His last fight was against Jens Pulver a few months ago in Evansville. That was a heck of a fight. This guy doesn't mess around. He takes on all comers. And Paul Rodriguez, you mentioned a late replacement. What a show they put on.
Yeah, it was a great Phil fight. And they both stepped in there and said, hey, Paul Rodriguez will make the weight, be under the weight, do a little courtesy. We do have a decision here.
Let's go to the ring. TJ Thompson has the decision. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. Referee number 1 scores about 29-28, Johns. Referee 2 scores about 29-28, Rodriguez. The third judge scores about 30-27 for the winner, Paul Rodriguez.
Well, a split decision, but a majority decision. Paul Rodriguez with the win over Phil Johns. A close fight.
You have to commend both fighters on that. That was a great fight. The judges did their job, and it came out with victorious.
We haven't had to mention this 10-point must system as well tonight. And again, without a decision until now, I haven't mentioned that, but it is a 10-point must system.
Yeah, we go on a 10-point must system, being 10, 10, 9, 9 being the lowest.
Jamie, before I let you get back to work, once again, you got a big fight coming up. Tell us about the Brazil event, November 18th.
We are going to be in São Paulo, Brazil. We haven't determined the location yet, but that's the date we're going to go for. It's Saturday night. We are going to be there. We are going to be live again for our South American friends, and I hope everything works out great there.
Hey, best of luck. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks,
Jamie
Jim.
Levine.
You guys do a great job tonight.
All right. We'll let Jamie take off. He's got work to do. You got lots of work to do. He's got people to see, hands to shake, babies to kiss. He's our own politician. Jamie Levine's taking off, so he's going to head out, and we'll get Tim back in here. Next fight coming up in just a second.
Sit right here. Good job.
Charles Bennett and Todd Carney are heading out in just a moment. Another tremendous fight scheduled here for Augusta, Georgia. Charles Bennett, they call him Crazy Horse. Another young man from Florida, just 20 years old.
He's got an NHB record of 3-1 prior to coming into this fight. And he's extremely strong. He works out a lot on the weights and a lot of dedication to that, and he's not afraid of anyone. So he's getting in here and ready to mix it up.
5'7", 165. There you see the guy they call Crazy Horse. Tim, word is this guy is a brawler.
Yes, he is. I've heard some stories about him being here in Augusta and working out with some of the other fighters, and he likes to put his hands on you and grab you and pick you up and clench you. So I look forward to definitely some slams as we look there at his physical attributes. He's a heavy striker, and he's versed in submissions.
So that's the story on Charles Bennett and his opponent. As Charles Bennett gets ready to go, young man by the name of Todd Carney, who's getting set to take on Charles Bennett. Charles Bennett, a guy that a lot of people in the last few days have been talking about, wanting to see this guy fight. And Todd Carney, a lot different looking fighter, whereas Bennett 5'7", 165. There you see Todd Carney, 6'3", 162.
Todd Carney's coming into this fight with a 7-0 record in amateur boxing, so he's going to have some extremely quick hands. He's also runner-up the Toughman contest in 1998 and 1999, and he's got a 3-1 record in kickboxing, so he's got quite an impressive background in ring fighting.
All right, there you see stand-up grappling and strikes. That's the profile for Todd Carney. as he gets ready to take on Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape real quick, and there you see the age difference. Bennett, 6 years younger, huge height advantage for Carney. We'll talk about that as the fight goes on, as well as a big reach advantage for Carney as well. Let's go to the ring with TJ Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next bout, the fighter to my rear, 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighed in at 165 pounds. From Ocala, Florida, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 6 foot 3 inches tall, 162 pounds. From Wheeling, West Virginia, Todd Carney.
So there you go. Go ahead.
I had an interesting conversation with Todd Carney the other night coming back from working out, and I said to him, he's got a wife and some kids, and I said, does it ever make you nervous stepping into the ring? And he said, absolutely not. He said, it keeps me sane. So we're going to see why this guy stays sane in the ring here.
Well, here you go. There you see it's Carney and Bennett. Bennett in the blue shorts, Carney in the black shorts. Carney, as they mentioned, the boxing background in that boxer stance right now. And Bennett goes,
there's Crazy Horse.
What a slam by
He's got an armbar. He's pulling it out. Well, he's turning over that. Excellent move by Todd Carney to get out of that armbar. Oh, he may not be out of it yet.
It looked like he was out of it, but instead. How strong is Bennett?
Extremely strong. Like I said, he's got a heavy weight back with his elbows to the head, unanswered.
A good side note about Todd Carney is that previous to competing here in the New Blood conflict, he fought in a tournament and fought 5 guys in one night. So he has a do-or-die attitude about himself, and I look forward to seeing that tonight.
Bennett seems like he's very much in control here in the first minute.
He's slipping in a rear naked choke. He's got his back right now. Looks like he's just under the chin. He's got to get that right hook in. If he doesn't get his hooks in, he'll roll over the top of the back.
Todd Carney looks to have both hands securing the arm of
Bennett just rolled out to the side now. He's in a dangerous position here.
Great action between these two. Carney with a couple left hands to the body.
He's slipping in a guillotine. Knows that guillotine to be more effective. He's probably going to have to straddle Bennett with a mount.
Bennett just out-muscled him there.
Absolutely.
These two continue to grapple on the mat. 2 minutes in. 3-minute round. As they go into the cage, Mike Green takes a peek.
Carney's got a nice headlock there. If he can break his right arm free, he can probably deliver some good blows. But Bennett's holding on to that arm. He's not going to let it go.
Is that it? That's it. That knocked him out. It's over. It is over. Todd Carney got knocked out by Charles Crazy Horse Bennett. It is done. It is over. It was that quick.
Who expected that? There was something in that roll that really put his head into the ground. We'll have to get to see that on a replay.
There we see some of the other rival team crew, Tom Sauer in the corner, Crazy Horse Bennett. We'll see later on this evening. I sure hope Todd Carney is all right.
Just leave them the way they are, because if you got a broken neck or something, you're rolling around.
Well, they are taking a good look at Todd Carney right now as he got rolled over. The doctors, a tremendous medical staff on hand here in Augusta, Georgia tonight as Charles Crazy Horse Bennett comes up with a big win, and it was a sudden victory at that. Crazy Horse Bennett, 5'7", 165, and guys, let's take a look at what happened here to end this fight as we take a look at Todd Carney.
We see Todd Carney throw a leg kick, and then Bennett coming in, picking him up, body slamming him.
This was early in the fight. This was right off the bat, and here's how it ended, guys.
Is that it?
Looks like Todd Carney just had Bennett pinched up against the cage, and Bennett was able to sneak out the back door there and gut wrench him down to the mat, putting him on his neck.
The knockout come when he hit his head. Is that when it happened? That's a big slam.
It looks like it was the top of the head. I'm glad to see that he's up and okay. He fought a really valiant fight.
It looked like when he was slammed, he had his shoulder turned. It was on the inside crevice of the shoulder and the neck, and he hit the mat without anything to brace him.
Let's go to TJ for the official announcement on tonight's decision.
2 minutes, 21 seconds by knockout. Charles Crazy Horse Bennett.
So Charles Bennett, the winner at 221 in the first round, a knockout, and Charles Bennett, a guy everyone talking about, they wanted to see him fight, and talk of the town, he proved why, didn't he?
Absolutely. When they talked about...
Let's take a look at the replay again here, guys, and Jay, take us through what happened here.
Yeah, you can see right now Bennett's working his way out of this. Now watch when he slams, the inside of the neck and the shoulder is unanswered on the mat. There's nothing to prevent that, and it twists the neck right on that shoulder and it put him right out.
Well, there you go. That was it. Charles Bennett with the win. Another tremendous fight here in Augusta, Georgia tonight. Well, this next fight, Richard Crunkilton and Robert Irizarry coming up next, and we're going to see Richard Crunkilton making his way to the ring. And Jay, another good bout on what is a tremendous card tonight. Tell us a little about Richard Crunkilton.
I'll tell you what, Richard Crunkilton is an extremely fast striker. He's got great hands and a phenomenal grappler. He's got excellent ground skills and, again, fast hands.
There you see his numbers, 5'8", 149.5. He weighed in yesterday to Smyrna Beach, Florida, as Richard Crunkilton makes his way into the ring right now, just 20 years old. There you see his profile, and Tim, strong throws, wrestling, and takedowns. Good fighter.
Yes, he is. He definitely has the strong throws and great wrestling ability, as well as some tremendous takedowns. So I look forward to a great fight here coming from a really complete fighter.
So there you see Richard Crunkilton making his way into the octagon, and his opponent, Robert Irizarry from Orlando, Florida, who now is heading down as well. And he's coming down to the ring and get a good look at Robert Irizarry. And the thing that jumps out about Robert Irizarry, just 18 years old, Jake.
Yeah, Robert Irizarry is again, he's got extremely fast hands, great striker, jiu-jitsu background, fighting for Team Rival, and this is going to be an excellent fight. It's going to be very explosive. It's going to be interesting to see Robert with his boxing and jiu-jitsu background take on the wrestler.
A couple of young guys, and Tim, there you see the profile. Tell us a little bit about technically what this guy can do.
Actually, he trains with Dean Thomas, so he will also bring a complete fighter type of package with his attributes to the ring.
Robert Irizarry, Richard Crunkilton, let's go to the ring, and TJ with the introductions. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, Augusta, Georgia, New Blood Conflict. Fights tonight sanctioned by the International Sport Combat Federation. Mike Carlson, representative at ringside. We're going to get right to the action, ladies and gentlemen. The fighter to my rear, 5'8" tall, weighed in at 149.5 pounds. From New Smyrna Beach, Florida, Richard Crunkilton. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, 5'9" tall, weighed in at 157.5 pounds. From Orlando, Florida, Robert Irizarry. Your referee for this bout will be Mike Green, representing the North American Grappling Federation.
So there you go, Mike Green, our official for this bout, as Crunkilton and Irizarry get into the ring right now and get set to get after it. Irizarry has the shirts with the white trim, and they are ready to get going. Irizarry and Crunkilton, round one, 3-minute round. And a right hand by Irizarry with a takedown.
Yeah, you gotta stay down.
Another takedown, and there are a couple big right hands by Crunkilton.
Crunkilton, with his wrestling background, is a phenomenal on the ground.
Irizarry trying to get back up, and a big kick, and another one as well.
That sucks.
Irizarry on his back, then he gets back up.
There you go.
Great action in the first 35 seconds of this first round. Left kick, but Crunkilton there with a takedown.
Nice takedown. He's got a side mount now, and he's working it.
Boy, these two fighters getting after it and putting on a nice show for the crowd here in Augusta early
just
on.
keep a couple up here. They need them all the time.
With a right hand.
He's got a three-quarter guard there, and he's trying to work back into the guard position on the bottom. He's bridging with that neck. Excellent roll. That's his wrestling background, right up back on top.
Two young fighters. Crunkilton, 20 years old. Irizarry, just 18. Both from Florida.
Crunkilton's got a little more experience than Irizarry. He has 3 no-hold-barred under his match, whereas Irizarry only has 1, so he's kind of getting his feet wet here. Good elbows to the top of the head.
Halfway through round number 1. And Tim, you see this situation. Who's in control right now?
Actually, I would have to say Richard Crunkilton. He's on the top, and he's delivering some kicks to the legs of Robert Irizarry.
And big right hand by Crunkilton. Two aggressive fighters. And Crunkilton again with a right hand. Mike Green taking a good look.
You can see a large welt opening up on the inside of the left leg of Irizarry. That's got to be wearing him down. On the inside and outside of his leg, actually. Oh, tremendous head kick from Crunkilton. We didn't expect that.
Oh, and a left hand.
Great right hand. He's following it up, driving him into the fence. Excellent knee. That may have caught him good.
Boy, that did
that
catch
single
him good.
leg.
Those were the boxing hands of
he's throwing those knees. He needs to get an elbow in there to protect himself. Excellent elbows to the side of the head by Crunkilton.
Crunkilton starting to lay some heavy damage in on Irizarry.
Irizarry still seems to have his wits about him, though. He's still wrapping the arms around, and they're starting to stand back up.
As you can see, just 10 seconds left to go in the first round.
Okay, just stretch this a little.
Both fighters, looks like they're content to let the time run out. Probably hearing from their corners that it is just about over and the first round comes to an end. That is just round number 1. And Jay and Tim, I'll tell you what an incredible round. That's a first round. These two guys, they have enough to go the distance, do you think?
Actually, I do. I think there was a lot of intensity from both fighters.
He's going to tell you when there's 10 seconds left.
To the
He'll say
cage, so
corners
I'm
out.
looking forward to an exciting round two.
You just say corners out, and then you
Jay,
start
I'll tell you what action. Round 1. I mean, both guys, did anybody have the advantage? Again, the judges had to take a peek there.
Yeah, I think that towards the end, Crunkilton had a little bit of an advantage when he was getting those strikes in and dropping his knees and elbows. But we'll see if that takes a toll.
Take your time, relax.
Irizarry's a tough guy, so
Find
he
it
seems to be
again.
hanging
Take
in
your
there.
time. That was beautiful.
It's going to be a great second round. I'm excited.
There you
Yes, you
see
did.
two fighters getting ready to go. Irizarry
Yeah, I know.
getting
He
some
fell.
last
He
second
definitely
advice
fell.
from his
Where's your
corner.
mouthpiece?
And there you see Richard Crunkilton.
Mike, take your time. Find it.
Crunkilton,
Let's go.
the elder statesman here, 20 years old. He's on the right, Irizarry on the left as we get ready to start round number 2.
Don't wind up.
Both fighters kind of feeling each other out.
Don't wind up.
Fighters probably could have used an extra minute or two between rounds after that tremendous first round.
He's going to work that leg. Looks like he's going for a takedown. That's going to be tough against Crunkilton with his wrestling background. He pulls him into the guard, and he's just going to content to hang on and try and trap that punching line.
So a lot of guys like to use that guard position of the offense. Is he in an offensive position or a defensive position right now?
Actually, Robert Irizarry is in a defense position. Whenever a fighter has their legs closed, they are fighting a close guard from a defense position, trying to hug the man closer to his body and to prevent strikes to his face or body of some sort.
Crunkilton taking a swing with a kick, and Mike Green was going to stand Irizarry back up, and that's one of the nice things about New Blood is the fighters will stand back up. They're not going to lay there and be passive. The referees are not going to allow them to do that tonight.
I don't think Irizarry wants to lay there too long with those welts on his legs. He doesn't want to take any more kicks. changes here. He's rolling back into the guard.
Irizarry trying to roll Crunkilton there. Getting nearing the midway point of round number 2. Here comes a knee and a big one. Oh, another huge knee. We have a great look at it there from the camera end. There's Crunkilton doing some damage on Irizarry.
I'll tell you what, he's got that forearm right in Irizarry's throat, and that's cutting off his wind and his breathing. It's going to help take gas out of him throughout the round.
Oh,
he's going for a heel hook.
Irizarry trying to block the leg and also stay out of that heel hook that Jay mentioned. Inside of a minute to go in this second round.
There you go, see him?
Irizarry's on your right, Crunkilton on the left. They still tangle up.
Yeah, these guys need to get more active here, or the referee may stand them up.
Both fighters going to try to find a submission hold here. They say that is right. Crunkilton sits up. Yeah. I got to think fatigue's coming into play here. I mean, this action is incredible, and that's what we expected to see on these cardinized fights like this. But these guys are really going at it with 10 seconds to go in round number 2. Both fighters probably hearing from their corners a big kick by Crunkilton misses that they are almost near the break. And there is the horn, and the break comes in. Let's get our judges here at the table's decisions. Jay, who do you get in the second round to?
So far I give it to Crunkilton. I think he's delivered some nice elbows, some nice knees, and you can see the welts really taking a toll on Irizarry's feet. I think Irizarry needs to start using his hands a little more. He's got quick hand speed. We haven't seen much of it. He's focused on the grappling.
Tim, what do you think?
I would have to second what Jay said. I also think that Crunkilton has the advantage.
Don't reach when you're going to do your kick. Okay, just step and kick.
Your hands up, man.
Okay, you're winding up there.
What a fight this has been. We've got 1 round left, 3 minutes.
Cover up. You're going to try to hit the one and try to knock it out.
Mike Gray doing a nice job making sure the fighters are here and entertaining fans. Fans here at Augusta having a great time tonight on this Saturday night. Augusta, Georgia, the home of the Masters.
Okay, he's a desperate man now. You got him 2 rounds to nothing. Okay? Make sure your feet are dry. Make sure your feet are dry underneath.
That's Crunkilton's cornerman talking to him, telling him, hey, Irizarry is in trouble, and I think, as you heard from both Jay and Tim, that seems to be the consensus heading into this final round. So Irizarry guy's probably looking to try to end this thing because he doesn't want it to go to a decision.
Absolutely. He may want to step that left leg of his back because both sides of it are welted, and Crunkilton seems to be throwing those kicks and aiming for it. Every once in a while, he's switching up and going high.
Crunkilton another leg, and Irizarry trying to get him down. Fighters are not allowed to grab onto the octagon here as well, and that's a new rule, isn't it?
That's correct. They wanted to, the WF is all about promoting action in their fights, and they don't want stalls, so they got rid of the holding the fence rule so that fighters can go to the ground and mix it up a little better. Phenomenal takedown to a side mount. You can see Crunkilton putting his left leg up to block the full mount.
A minute into this final round of 3.
Robert looks tired. He's going to need to work this position here.
Robert Irizarry really needs to capitalize on his position in order for the fight to turn in his favor. He needs to be driving his right shoulder into the head of Richard Crunkilton, making it very uncomfortable to be there, so he can allow his left leg to slide over the stomach and mount and start to capitalize with punches or arm locks of some sort.
I think the key here, too, for Crunkilton is don't make a mistake. This fight's got to be his right now with a minute and a half left.
Irizarry needs to work this position. They're going to stand him back up. Now he lost a very dominant position there in the side mount. He really needed to work and capitalize on that.
Irizarry probably needs to go for something big here in the final minute.
Good knees. Excellent takedown by Crunkilton. Irizarry pulls him into the guard. Fatigue must be taking effect here on the fighters. They're really slowing down a lot. What do you think, Tim?
Being 45 seconds left in the third round, Robert Irizarry needs to open up that guard and start to create some opportunities, start to use some tips and reversals, work for some submission, triangle and arm locks.
Oh, what a stop. Crunkilton, for a guy that pretty much has the fight won in terms of the judge's opinion, staying the aggressor. 22 seconds left to go, and again Mike Green will stand Irizarry up. Irizarry on the left, he needs a miracle now, and Crunkilton with a knee. They go into the cage. Just a couple seconds away from the end of this fight, and there it is. It's over. Mike Green jumps in and separates the two. Crunkilton and Irizarry. There you see Richard Crunkilton, a 20-year-old from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. And guys, what a great fight. I mean, not only from a technical standpoint, but just a cerebral standpoint as well. This guy fought with his head as much as his body did.
Absolutely. When you see these kids getting in here at 18 and 20 years old, you know they have a bright future in NHB. What do you think, Tim?
Yes, actually, I mean, both fighters showed a lot of heart, and I was really impressed with Richard Crunkilton. I think one of his best attributes were his takedowns. So I look forward, to seeing him again in the future.
We'll go get the official announcement from TJ Thompson coming up as the two fighters come to the center of the ring, and didn't take long for the decision to be made. Let's head to the ring, and TJ Thompson with the announcement on the winner of this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. The winner from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, Richard Crunkilton.
So Richard Crunkilton, the winner, and a unanimous decision. Guys, I would assume you agree. It seemed as if it was Crunkilton's fight really from the start.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely as well.
These two guys put on quite a show, though, for the fans in Augusta, Georgia. They make their way on the ring. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this fight. Jay?
Oh, here comes that foot stomp. That was excellent. Great little grab on the fence there, but in the heat of battle, what do the fighters do?
We've also seen that foot stomp by one of the previous rival superstars, Pele, against Pat Miletich in Rome, Georgia. We saw that same technique applied.
Well, it's been a tremendous night of fighting so far, and it should continue to be that way. Frank Trigg and Ray Cooper coming up next. Another great matchup. And Jay, tell us a little bit about Frank Trigg.
Frank Trigg, his nickname is Twinkle Toes. His fighting style is wrestling, boxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing. He's got great no-holds-barred experience. He's an assistant wrestling coach at the University of Oklahoma, and he's defeated many highly regarded names in no-holds-barred. This guy is representing the Raw team and an excellent fighter.
Twinkle Toes. You call him that? I'm not calling him that.
I would not call him Twinkle Toes, but perhaps that means he's light on his feet.
That's right. I'll tell you what, Frank, when you watch the tape later, that was Jay calling you Twinkle Toes. Tim, tell us a little bit about his style.
He's a well-rounded fighter, as Jay mentioned, with all the different types of disciplines that he brings into the ring. His primary style is wrestling, and he has a very strong camp being the Raw team.
And that Raw team and that strong camp is something he feels very good about heading into this fight.
Well, Rico, when he was in the corner, he says something. I'm listening. I'm keying into him the whole fight. He says throw a left, I throw a left. Don't worry about where it's going to hit or where I just throw it. Boom. He says knee down, my knee goes down. He says, circle right, I circle right. He just knows. Which makes it real easy for us because the language barrier. There's absolutely no language barrier at all. I can absolutely understand everything he's talking about, so it makes it real smooth. So having a good corner guy is absolutely important, especially if you're new to the game, you don't pay attention to it too much.
And that is Frank Trigg and his opponent, who will be heading down in a moment. If you take a look at the cornerman and that strong camp he was talking about, is Ray Cooper, who will be taking on Frank Trigg. Here comes Ray Cooper all the way from Hawaii. here in Augusta tonight.
That's correct. Ray Cooper's representing the Jesus is Lord gym. He has a no-holds-barred professional fighting record of 7-1. He's the 3-time Super Brawl champion, and he's ranked #1 in the world in Shuto, and that's a top fighting organization out of Japan, very similar to the no-holds-barred you're seeing here today. It's primarily submission wrestling, so this should be an extremely technical fight between two well-versed grapplers. Something I failed to mention on Frank Trigg also is his record is 31-0 in no-holds-barred, so he's putting it all on the line tonight against Ray Cooper.
Let's take a look at Ray Cooper's strengths, Tim.
He's very versed in striking, takedowns, and great conditioning.
And I'll tell you what, Ray Cooper, as you saw the t-shirt, Jesus is Lord, seems like almost a contrast. Jesus Lord, a born-again Christian, he's in no-holds-barred fighting though, and talks about how he keeps the violence in the ring.
It's where your heart's at, most of all. If your heart is just in the sport and not out to hurt somebody, and just because we're Christians, we don't live a boring life. We can do what everybody else can do, but so long as our heart is right towards the other person, we don't see nothing wrong with that.
Well, soft-spoken Ray Cooper, but the one thing about Ray Cooper, striking one of his strengths, as we take a look at the tail of the tape, and there you see close in age. Trigg, a slight height advantage, also has a little bit of a weight advantage as well as the reach advantage against Cooper. Hey, let's go to the ring for the introductions, the official introductions with TJ Thompson. TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for this next big matchup here on New Blood Conflict. The fighters standing behind me, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing at 175 pounds, representing the Raw team from Los Angeles, California, Frank Trigg. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighing at 169.5 pounds. He's from Waianae, Hawaii. Please welcome his mainland fighting debut, Ray Brother Cooper. On Kip's command.
There you see a good look at Ray Cooper. Cooper and Trigg getting set to go at it. These will be 3 5-minute rounds. That was at the request of the two fighters. They want to go long. They want to put on a show. So they're going to go 3 5-minute rounds. Kip Kolar brings him to the center of the ring, and there you go. Top of your screen is Frank Trigg, Ray Cooper on the left as Cooper takes down Trigg early on. As TJ mentioned, Cooper making his mainland fighting debut here. Over from Hawaii, has a tremendous group with him, a number of people coming over as he gets a right hand in.
You can see the strength of these two fighters here as they tie up in the guard.
Ray Cooper, a strong man physically, strong in his faith as well. Trains in a gym called Jesus is Lord Gym.
Looks like he's trying to do a guard pass. He's got a hold of the ankles. Oh, looks like Frank Trigg may have a triangle. No, he split out. Now Ray Cooper's in a side mount. He's going to want to maintain that position. Looks like he's stacking him up, driving his head into the chest. You can see Trigg trying to work a submission here. It looks like he's got an arm trap, trying to get a leg over the head, but he's not going to get it. They fall into the half guard here, both fighters working.
Early on in this fight, again, 5-minute rounds.
Keep working, guys.
These guys are...
See Ray Cooper putting the forearm up there, trying to work down as Trigg hangs on tight over the shoulders to keep him from creating space. If Cooper's able to create that space, he can start delivering some strikes. You can see him working the forearm on the head of him.
Inside of the picture, you saw a couple right hands, too, with your body of Trigg.
Ray Cooper puts that left leg out and tries to pry free.
Just relax, I'm going to fix this gap. I'll be recording.
Trigg so he can slide his leg.
Jamie, give me some tape. Right on the ground. I know, give me some tape. It's right on the ground, right behind you.
What's your outlook on these two fighters tonight?
I was real surprised to see Ray Cooper taking down Frank Trigg. From what it seemed like, it looked like Cooper had the advantage there. and Frank Trigg had no recourse but to fall to his back. And then it was interesting seeing the guard of a wrestler. I know Frank Trigg has trained with some purple belts under the Machado, so there is some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu influence there.
Wonderful upper body throw by Frank Trigg right into the side mount. Ray Cooper's going to try and drive that knee in and try and get to the guard position.
Your leg with his arm, put your leg on his arm.
Frank Trigg, formerly assistant wrestling coach at Oklahoma.
Hey, it's knees in, get
Knows
your
something
knee
about
out.
fighting. Grew up with 6 brothers.
Trigg over
Probably
his
got
head.
out a little bit growing up in this household.
You can see Ray slink right into that guard from the side mount.
Come up,
Trigg should have held that side mount a little longer and tried to work some strikes and possibly a mount.
Hey, watch your arms right
Now
now.
Cooper's stacking the guard up, trying to capture
Stand
the
right
arm.
up. Sit back.
There's the corner for Frank Trigg.
Elbow to the thigh.
Talked about his strong camp.
Put him up against the
Urging him on. You can hear him in the background.
Look at that arm bar. You can see if he gets that right leg over, Trigg may be in trouble, but he didn't get it. Nice submission attempt, though, by Ray Cooper. Looks like he's trying to work the leg over again. He's got an arm. But Trigg's able to get out of it.
I don't think you'll see Ray Cooper submit from Trigg with the armbar.
Oh, big right hand by Cooper. And Cooper raining blows on Trigg. And now a couple forearms and some elbows as well.
Work that leg also. You can see both fighters. Here's a heel hook. There's a heel hook. Both fighters are slick though from the sweat. He may not have it. But Trigg needs to roll away from that, but he's standing into it. Excellent demonstration of strength by Frank Trigg to work his way out of that.
Boy, Frank Trigg, he looked like he was in all kinds of trouble. Took a number of strikes from Cooper. Able to work out of it. Now it's Trigg back on top of Cooper's in the guard.
Frank Trigg has a knack for staying out of submissions. He fought over in Japan in the Pride organization against Fabiano Iha, and he was put into a triangle as well as an arm lock attempt and was able to avoid those. So he seems to keep his cool under pressure.
Long rounds, 5-minute rounds that you see on your screen, and inside of a minute to go in that first round.
But Ray Cooper's addressing those submission attempts, isn't he? He didn't have that arm tight enough where he threw the leg over. But Trigg's in a good position here with that side mount. Let's see what he does with it. Oh, excellent knee to the head for Frank Trigg.
See the kick there from Trigg.
Ray Cooper better watch those knees of Frank Trigg. If he can deliver that space, then Cooper falls back to the guard. Oh, excellent stop by Frank Trigg. Looks like he's going to let him up. He's content fighting up. He's got a boxing background and a good kickboxing background. So Todd's going to do some striking now.
5 seconds left in the round. They're going to do something. They're going to have to do it in a hurry as a kick from Cooper, and that'll do it for the end of the first round. An entertaining first round as well. A back and forth first round, guys, and a very close first round, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd probably give the edge to Ray Cooper because he had a couple submission attempts. He had a couple close. He also was a little bit, with the flurry, he had some excellent strikes. Frank Trigg, however, ended the round strongly with that kick. So, again, it was a close round. You can see here where he's trying to work that arm. He throws that leg over, puts the head in. And you can see Trigg grab his own arm, trying to prevent the arm bar. The leg slipped off the head, and he didn't have anything. He's working towards the back, but Frank Trigg stood up. Frank Trigg delivers a couple nice punches and then a knee. These guys are warriors.
And right there is where we thought perhaps Trigg was in trouble. Boy, a number of strikes there by Ray Cooper, but Trigg was able to roll out and get out of that problem.
It seemed like Trigg was really concentrating on grabbing that left leg of Ray Cooper to try and work a leg submission.
Tim, do you agree? Was it Cooper's round slightly?
Oh yeah, most definitely it was Cooper's round. I was I was real interested in watching. I see a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu influence and flavor in Frank Trigg's style, and that's interesting. I didn't see that a couple years ago.
Ready? Let's fight!
Here we go, second round, second of 3 5-minute rounds. Again, Cooper near to you. They go right into the cage down below, our photographer. In the corner, getting some great shots for you tonight here in Augusta, Georgia.
You can see the strength of Frank Trigg as he just pulls him off the fence and throws him down.
He just bullied him down, didn't he?
Absolutely.
All muscled him. Now it's Trigg on top again.
Looks like Ray Cooper's trying to talk to his corner a little bit while he lays there.
How much are these guys going to talk to their corners? How much can they get from a corner in the middle of a fight?
I would say quite a bit. I think if the fighters are laying there, a lot of times they're concentrating on surviving, maybe there's something an outside person can see that they don't. You can see Trigg's delivering some excellent strikes here. Cooper's going to need to extend that guard and turn those knees in to push him back to protect his face. Because Trigg is just nailing him with unanswered blows.
Unable to do that so far, though. It's all Trigg here in the early part of the second round.
Another excellent left hand.
What Cooper needs to do is open his guard and put the feet in his Frank Trigg's hips and push him away. You know, in a Vale Tudo fight, it's always better to fight open guard versus closed guard. You want to create that distance, push him off, and get him away from you.
They continue to tie up, but this second round, barely so far, all Trigg.
So Frank Trigg's trying to grab that right arm of Ray Cooper so he can deliver elbows with his left hand. Ray Cooper's going to try and work it free.
Huge left hand. And now Trigg is raining blows on Cooper.
Yeah, Tim's right. He needs to push Frank Trigg off when he's coming with those blows.
Looks like there is some blood from above Cooper's eye now. Frank Trigg has taken over with a number of tremendous strikes here in the second round. We're not even halfway through this 5-minute marathon in the second round. Huge! That may be it. It looked like for a second he was out.
It did. I think that certainly stunned him at the very least.
Yeah, you and I are both looking at it. It looked like Cooper was out cold for a second, but he's still...
That's an excellent technique the way Trigg takes his sweaty palm across the forehead and drops it to an elbow.
Oh, another right hand that time by Frank Trigg.
One thing about Ray Cooper is that you never want to count him out. You know, he has a lot of Hawaiian pride. There's a lot of deep roots that run with him and the Jesus is Lord team. Ray Cooper is not one that you want to count out early.
Ray Cooper probably trying to dig down all his faith is needed right now because he has really been in trouble, it seems, since the early part of the second round.
Tim, isn't it amazing how you can have the fighter looks like two different people between round one and round two, the way they come out.
That's it, it's over. It is over just like that. Ray Cooper has said enough, and that is it. Frank Trigg comes up with the win. Ray Cooper on his back, and he'll get back up. I think as much as anything, maybe fatigued there, guys, but it is Frank Trigg with the win.
The elbow certainly had something to do with it. That had to really shatter his confidence there when he's taking those right above the head.
Good look at Frank Trigg right there, the 28-year-old from Los Angeles, California. Able to beat Ray Cooper.
The ring doctor's examining Ray Cooper there.
So Ray Cooper, Frank Trigg ends in the second round, and we'll get TJ in there to give us the official decision in a second. Cooper and Trigg, some nice sportsmanship after it's all said and done. And let's get the official word from TJ. TJ.
The official time. Official time. Check. Official time, 3 minutes, 5 seconds, round number 2, by forearm choke submission, Frank Trigg.
So at 3:05 in round 2, Frank Trigg comes up with the victory. And Trigg with a forearm choke, and as you were talking about right before it ended, I mean, seconds before it ended, almost 2 different fights from round 1 to round 2.
Oh, sure, definitely. I mean, at the end of the round and you go to the corner, and then you come back out, you're either going to come out much better or
let's take a look
much
at this replay here.
Now this is when he took the elbow. That's what we thought it might have been done. That was earlier in the fight in the second round, and then here is the finish.
Looks like a smother he's trying to work there.
They called it a forearm choke, and I guess that's it right there. You see the forearm. And And there's the tap.
Yeah, Ray Cooper just didn't have the energy to push him off.
Ray Cooper was spent at that point, and it was over. And this crowd, which has been buzzing throughout the night, well, get ready because they're going to get going again as they got another local product making his way out in just a moment. There you see Jack the Ripper, they call him, Jack Nilsson from Augusta, Georgia, against Big John Dixon. Two big men. And here we go. Jay trying to speak over this partisan crowd because from Augusta, Georgia, Jack the Ripper Nilsson coming out in just a second.
Jack's a local fighter here. He trains under Mike Carlson from the Augusta Martial Arts Academy. He trains jiu-jitsu and MYB kickboxing. He's a decorated U.S. Marine, two-time grappling challenge champion, two-time PKC U.S. super heavyweight champion, one-time International Kickboxing Federation champion, and a two-time UFC veteran. This guy has some ring experience, fighting on the rival team.
So Jack the Ripper making his way in. Let's take a look at some of his strengths. Tim, there you go.
He has great stand-up, great ground attack, and he brings a fierce attitude into the cage with him.
Jack the Ripper, and boy, this place, when the local guys have come out, they've made some noise tonight. Jack the Ripper Nilsson and his opponent, as you see the sign for the hometown product, got to have the adrenaline flowing right now, but he's got a big man and a big task on his hands as Big John Dixon, 6 feet, 275, coming out, Jake.
Big John Dixon, he's self-trained in boxing, judo, and Muay Thai. He brings to the cage a pro no-holds-barred record of 15-7. He's a WKC super heavyweight kickboxing champion, U.S. Army Taekwondo champion, two-time national judo champion, and World Extreme Fighting 7 super heavyweight champion. Again, a person with excellent cage experience coming into the ring. This should be quite a matchup.
Well, I'll tell you what, the fans, they like two things. They like seeing the big guys, and they like also seeing the hometown guys as well. There
John Dixon bringing in the strengths of boxing, judo, and Muay Thai. So a very well-rounded and complete and dangerous fighter.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, how these two guys match up. 35 years old is Nilsson, a couple of years older, has a 3-inch height advantage. Dixon, though, is 275 pounds. Nilsson with a slight reach. The crowd are buzzing here in Augusta, Georgia, as that man, Jack the Ripper Nilsson from Augusta, gets set to take on Big John Dixon. Let's go to the ring and get the official introductions with TJ Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout in the heavyweight division. The fighter standing behind me, 6 foot 3 inches tall, weighed in at 225 pounds. From right here in Augusta, Georgia, let's hear it for Jack the Ripper Nilsson. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 6 foot tall, 275 pounds. From Biloxi, Mississippi, Big John Dixon. On Kip's command.
Well, certainly safe to say a partisan crowd. Only in the Southeastern Conference country would you get a guy from Mississippi booed, but it's Ole Miss against Georgia, Augusta against Biloxi, and here we go, and there you take a good look at Jack the Ripper and some nice sportsmanship, and here we go, guys, two big men.
Jack's going to be quite a striker on his feet here. He's got very quick hands and excellent leg kicks.
Back to 4-minute rounds.
Big John Dixon showing his quickness, even though he's 270 pounds there with these kicks.
Just missed with a big left kick.
Looks like he caught the leg. He may be working a heel hook submission here. Jack knows to spin out.
It's over. It is over.
Big John Dixon with the heel hook submission.
Big John Dixon, and it was over. It was over about 35 seconds in. Jack the Ripper taken down, and he had a tap out. He tried to roll out, guys.
He did try. That's one of the disadvantages when a fighter wears shoes into the ring. They tend to stick more on that heel hook.
Besides that, an interesting side note is that's also the same technique that he defeated Tom Sauer with in New Orleans.
And again, some great sportsmanship between those two. I'm not so sure that Jack Nilsson didn't roll an ankle and actually not tap out in time because he is having a hard time walking afterwards. But that fight, which was highly anticipated by the folks here, the hometown boy, though, he had some problems. Big John Dixon, you went through his resume, Jay. He had a heck of a resume, and he showed why. Let's get the official announcement on this decision. As Kip will bring him to the center of the ring, go to TJ Thompson. TJ.
Official time. 32 short seconds into round number 1 by heel hook submission. Big John Dixon.
So Big John Dixon the win, 32 seconds in. John Dixon, man, oh man, did he ever come up big in hostile territory as well here in Augusta, Georgia. As we take a look at the replay and how it ended quickly. The heel hook, and there it is. You can see Jack Nilsson tried to turn over, tried to slip out, unable to do so, but he tapped out quickly. And that was it. It was over. Right there you see the tap. Right there it's over and done. And Big John Dixon celebrating on enemy turf. A U.S. Army Taekwondo champion and two-time national judo champion comes up big with the victory. Well, coming up next, we jump up. If the fights haven't been good enough, we have 2 fights they are calling the super fights tonight, including this one, Tommy Sauer and Vladimir Matyushenko. As Tommy Sauer makes his way to the ring. This is a highly anticipated fight, a fight a lot of people have been talking about. There's some bad blood between the two camps, we're told. But Tom Sauer making his way to the ring, Jay.
Tom Sauer's fighting for team rival. He's coming off of several big wins, including Rings Russia and Rings USA. He's extremely athletic. He's an excellent wrestling background, an all-American wrestler, and an excellent striker. He's beaten his last couple opponents.
And I'll tell you what, tell us a little bit, we'll talk more about Tom Sauer in a second because Jay mentioned it, his right hand is a big key.
Tom Sauer.
And I thought the one point that I could exploit on everybody today, studying everybody's tapes, is that straight right. Everybody gets hit by the straight right because they're so used to doing the Muay Thai and throwing haymakers. You watch the UFC, you see Waterman, all them guys. They're not throwing straight rights, and straight right is paydays.
Right hand, and his opponent coming out in a second is going to be Vladimir Matyushenko. As Tom Sauer gets in there, and here comes his opponent for tonight's super fight, Vladimir Matyushenko, Jay.
Vladimir's background is wrestling. He's a member of Team Raw. He has a professional, no-holds-barred fighting record of 9-1. He's a Russian national freestyle wrestling team member, 1996 to 97, U.S. National JC Wrestling Champion, the IVC 5 Tournament Champion. They call this man the janitor because he has a reputation for wiping the mat with his opponents.
Take a look at some of the strengths, Tim, of Vladimir Matyushenko.
Vladimir brings in his very athletic attributes. He's very athletic. He's a great wrestler, as Jay had mentioned, as well. He's a good striker with good boxing hands.
All right, there you see Vladimir Matyushenko. Let's see how these two guys match up head-to-head. Our tail of the tape. And there you see it. Both are 29 years old. Both are 6 feet tall. Sauer, 12, about 11 and a half pounds heavier. And Matyushenko, a slight reach advantage of 1 inch. And let's go to the ring. And TJ, introduce these two fighters.
The first of 2 super fights tonight. The fighter standing behind me, 6 foot tall, weighing in at 222 pounds. From Ocala, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, we know him as Tommy Trauma. Please welcome Tom Sauer. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 6 foot tall, 210 and a half pounds. From Belarus, Russia, the janitor, Vladimir Matyushenko. On Kip's command.
Well, we saw the sportsmanship. We had heard there's some bad blood, maybe between the camps, maybe not between the fighters, as there you saw Tom Sauer coming over to Matyushenko, but when we get this thing going, we expect a great fight between Sauer, who you see right there, and Vladimir the janitor, Matyushenko. And here they go.
Vladimir opens up with a strong right hand. You see the fighters tie up almost immediately. Sauer just rolled him. Tremendous
strength.
I'll tell you a little known interesting fact about Tom Sauer is he does have Tourette syndrome. And you really wouldn't know that when he's fighting because he says he gets in the zone and it's almost like it goes away. I'm interested to see what happens if Vladimir gets into the guard of Tom Sauer. I was able to work out with Tom Sauer prior to this event, and he takes 350 pounds and does inside leg squats, and he can lock that guard tight. In fact, he's been known to submit men with his guard. You can see him working the back here of Vladimir.
The crowd in Augusta, Georgia, chanting USA, and Sauer wise the fact he's fighting a man originally from Russia, wore the Stars and Stripes of the trunks tonight here in Augusta against Matyushenko. Matyushenko in the black trunks you see right there. 4-minute rounds. Two big, strong, powerful, and highly skilled man. Super fight, our first of 2 super fights tonight.
Vladimir is very content with the half guard. A lot of his fights that he's had in the past with Kinji Kawaguchi in Japan and some of the other fighters, John Marsh and Vernon Tiger White, he's very content with the side mount. He looks for striking and key locks from that position. So I'm not sure if we'll see him advance to a mount.
Looks like Vladimir's trying to trap that right arm with his knee. Tom Sauer is deliver some punches. They're standing back up for an action. Go ahead, Tim, you were saying?
Oh, no, that's fine.
They Kip Kolar gets him back up, ready to go, and here they go again. Early on in this fight. So far, Sauer unable to get that right hand strike, that straight right hand he talked about beforehand, free.
Looks like Vladimir is trying to work in a guillotine choke here. Deliver some knees. Sauer's trying to hold the hand, going around it. You gotta watch Sauer's right hand. It's powerful. He knocked out his last couple opponents with it. Big leg kick by Tom Sauer.
Boy, Sauer just kind of grinning after that exchange with Matyushenko. Trying to get the knee free.
Oh, tremendous upper body throw by Vladimir. Into a mount. Vladimir's got the mount. Sauer's holding on. Looks like he's got a triangle choke with the arms. I don't think he'll be able to work it from that position. Vladimir's walking him to the fence. This is not a good position for Tom Sauer right now.
The left hand's just trying to wear down Sauer from Matyushenko. That's Matyushenko's cornermen. They like what they see so far.
You know, Sauer's a veteran of the game, though. He's been in this position before. We'll see if he can work out of it.
Tommy Trauma Sauer.
Looks like they're trying to work a key lock there on his right arm. Look at the strength on Sauer to just turn out of that mount.
That's unbelievable.
Awesome. Sauer's trying to work his own guillotine in. He lets it go. He didn't have anything in. Tommy's going to tighten up that guard.
Much different, guys. Maybe Tim explained different the guard beforehand. The mount by Matyushenko, now the guard by Sauer. Some watching for the first time, a lot different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Tightening those.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
You can see him tightening those legs on the scissor guard. That's what I felt, and I'll tell you, that takes the wind out of you. When he straightens those legs and closes them like scissors, that's like clamps. Go ahead, Tim.
No, just to kind of follow up what Jay's saying, Tom's been working on his guard and his guard skills, and he's fighting a lot more closed guard and open guard, and trying to create possibilities and opportunities.
That'll do it for the first round. Are you telling me then that a guy that's squatting 350 when he closes those legs, that's not a lot of fun?
That's not. In fact, I had the tap from this guard. He called me to the ring. He said, "Jay, just step into my guard," and I did. And he squeezed those legs, and I felt my rib cage crushing. I was tapping out within 5 seconds, and I was amazed. I've been in a lot of guards before, never been tapped like that.
Tom Sauer there talking to his ring man, and Sauer, a firefighter from Florida, against the janitor. They call him Matyushenko. The janitor, just because, as he says, he cleans up in the cage. Guys, who would you give that first round to?
I'd have to give it to Vladimir only because of positioning. He did obtain a mount. He did attempt a key lock submission. Tommy Sauer had a couple excellent submissions, but again, just a slight advantage to the Russian. Tim, your thoughts?
I don't know. It was a really close, even though Vladimir capitalized on the takedown and had the side mount, Tom Sauer had all the reversals. He was able to get up, from out of that. So
good point.
Nice exchange early on. Oh, a right hand.
Sauer got caught by the right hand of Vladimir.
Yes, he did. Oh, he got
another right hand. He's feeling it here. He may be in trouble.
Matyushenko coming out with a flurry here in the second round.
Sauer's tying him up and getting his wits back about him.
That is amazing. A man can take that kind of punishment and just look like he's no worse for wear. Sauer able to push him into the screen.
Sauer's one tough guy. Looks like Vladimir fell right into the mount. He's got a mount on Sauer now. We'll see if Sauer can work his way out of this one like he did last time.
Guys, you got to be surprised. Not many guys stand toe-to-toe with Tom Sauer.
Absolutely not.
We are right up against the cage and right next to Matyushenko's corner. So you got to think it's an advantage for Vladimir Matyushenko being in that corner with his corner man.
Oh, definitely. He'll definitely use that to his advantage. A lot of professional fighters use that to their, Matt Hughes is another one. All the Milicic fighters use that to their advantage too. So smart move on Vladimir's part.
You can see Vladimir going high on the guard, putting his knees right in the armpits of Sauer to prevent a roll.
One of the things that Tom Sauer is doing that he probably shouldn't is hugging him that high up, because that allows Vladimir to slide his knees up underneath the armpits and strike. So that's not a good technique on Tom's part.
Guys, you can see the blood coming out of Tom Sauer's, looks like around his eyes. He must have sustained some heavy damage early on in this round. Matyushenko again. Shots to the back of the head.
Tim, what do you think Tom Sauer needs to do from this position to survive?
He needs to bump up on one side, on possibly his right hip, and push the right, push both arms down at Vladimir's left knee, and bump up and try to escape the leg out and get a half guard.
Looks like Kip's standing him up.
Kip's standing him up and also taking a look at the cut underneath Sauer's eye.
Doctor may be checking him.
Knowing Tom Sauer, he's going to still want to fight.
Looks like they're now going to take a look at him. The doctor, I would assume, will come in and see if he can continue. So there you go. Is that it?
Looks like the doctor's not going to let it continue. Tom Sauer's very upset. He's trying to throw his mouthpiece.
That's it. It's going to be over as the doctor's going to stop the fight. Let's go to TJ. We'll get the official announcement. As looks like Tom Sauer has lost his fight to Vladimir Matyushenko. TJ.
The cut. Stop the fight in the second round. Doctor stoppage due to cut. The winner, the janitor Vladimir Matyushenko.
So at 2:17 of the second round, the doctor's decision, he stops the fight as Tom Sauer sustains a heavy cut under his right eye. There you see the janitor, Vladimir Matyushenko, walks out of the ring a winner, and much to the chagrin, I think, of the partisan American crowd here in Augusta, Georgia. But the damage too heavy to continue on, guys. Let's take a look at what happened here at the start of the second round, because this is where it happened.
It looks like this is where the cut opened up over Sauer's eye. You can see the exchange here. That was quite a right, another right, an elbow right there. That may have been the one that did it. Another right, then a left, then a right. Sauer's just lowering his head and leaning back, trying to get his wits about him. Here's where Sauer ties up, just trying to regain his composure.
It looked like at this point, as they were on the ground, when Kip Kolar went in there to stand the fighters back up, I think that's when he saw the cut, and he had the doctor take a look at it right here. As we can see from our great angle, great camera shot, guys. You can see that cut with Tom Sauer, and the doctor says no more. So Vladimir Matyushenko knocks off Tom Sauer. Doctor stopped the fight. And we have another super fight coming up for you right now with Mark Robinson getting ready to take on Joe Leyva. There you see Robinson and Leyva as they get set to do battle. Another super fight, and again, a couple more very big men coming into this fight. Mark Robinson, Jay, first making his way down.
Mark Robinson's fighting out of the noted Obaki Fight School out of Atlanta, Georgia, trained by Tim Catalfo. He's the world sumo champion 1996 through 1998, the world powerlifting champion from 1990, an Abu Dhabi competitor and standout 1999 and 2000. He qualified for the 1996 Greco-Roman wrestling team, member of the South African Greco-Roman wrestling team, and a member of the South African freestyle wrestling team. So he's got quite a background in grappling. And you can see with the arms and physique on him, he is truly the world's strongest man.
He brings to the cage experience in submissions, takedowns, and as Jay had mentioned, his strength factor.
6 feet 297. Huge man coming in there right now is Mark Robinson. And his opponent getting set to make his way down the ring is another big guy at 6'5", 258, and that's Joe Leyva.
Yeah, Joe Leyva comes bringing a background mix of boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a 2-time Golden Glove boxing champion, 2-time Pan Am boxing champion, and he's a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Megan Diaz. And at the weigh-ins, he was the gentleman with the longest reach of any of the fighters. And if he combines that with an excellent boxing jab, and he can keep his opponent, Mark Robinson, at a distance, this could be a fight that ends in strikes.
Joe Leyva, 6'5", 258. We'll see the reach in a second with our tail of the tape. But first, let's take a look at some of the strengths of Joe Leyva. Tim will break it down for you as he comes in.
Joe Leyva brings his jiu-jitsu experience with David Dodd. He comes from a strong camp a la David Dodd, and he also is known for his good conditioning.
So there you see Joe Leyva from Phoenix, Arizona, Mark Robinson, and here's a look at how the two fighters match up head-to-head. Robinson 10 years older, Leyva 5 inches taller, but it is Robinson substantially heavier, but Leyva has that 4-inch reach advantage, the long arms for Joe Leyva. Let's go to the ring, and TJ with the introductions.
Augusta, Georgia, are you ready for some big boys? The fighter standing behind me, 6 foot tall, weighed in at 297 pounds. A former world's strongest man competitor from Johannesburg, South Africa, Mark Robinson. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight, 6 foot 5 inches tall, 258 pounds, from Phoenix, Arizona, Joe Leyva. On Kim's command.
Well, they like the big guys, and here are two more big men. Leyva, again, will have that huge reach advantage, but the strength goes to Robinson. We'll see what comes out on top.
Ready, Mark?
Our second super
Ready,
fight of the night.
Let's
Kip
fight.
Polar brings me to the ring, and here we go. Some sportsmanship right off the mat. Leyva on the left, Robinson on the right.
You can see Leyva's already throwing the jab, using his boxing background, trying to keep the big man away.
The big man able to get in close. Right up against the cage again. One of the rules in NHP, you cannot grab that cage. That's been a change from past events. Trying to keep the fighters active.
You can see Mark Robinson is trying to work his arms inside to possibly do an upper body throw on Joe Leyva. And Joe's just trying to hold the big man off, keep the distance for striking.
A body blow by Robinson, then a knee by Robinson. Former world sumo champion. Ton of strength. Like Leyva is 6'5", and 258. Not often he'd be out muscled, but here he is. Robinson gets him down.
Looks like Leyva's trying to work into that guard. Yeah, he's got both legs around. but Mark Robinson has him pinned against the fence. Looks like he's kind of smothering him with that other hand. It's be interesting to see what happens here.
Two guys.
He's actually in a half guard right now. He's tapping.
That's it, it's over. Leyva tapped out. Just like that, it comes to a quick end. Mark Robinson with a win, and an early win at that as he comes into North America. A member of the South African Greco-Roman wrestling team and strength.
I'll tell you what, Ian, that's a testament to his strength. He pulled that shoulder right in, wrapped those arms around the head, and looks like they're calling it a neck crank. They're saying he won by a submission neck crank.
He tapped out to Joe Leyva. He tapped out quickly. He was in some trouble against the big man from South Africa, Mark Robinson, 36 years old. Wants to move here to North America to get his NHP career off the ground. Well, you know what? It's off and running nicely with a win here tonight in Augusta, Georgia. Kip will bring him to the center of the ring, and TJ will give you the decision. TJ.
122 of the first round. A strong neck crank submission. The winner, Mark Robinson.
So Mark Robinson with the victory, and here it is, guys. Here's how it ended up.
It looks like he did get a neck crank. He's wrapping his arms around the back of the head.
It's a quick tap out, and it was over in a hurry. Joe Leyva getting beat by that man, Mark Robinson. Talked about his powerlifting skills. You can see right there. That is a big, thick man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a heck of a night of fighting so far. It has been a tremendous evening in Augusta. Great crowd, phenomenal atmosphere. Now we crank it up a notch, if that's at all possible. Here it is, our featured event of the evening. Dean Thomas, Jens Pulver, a title on the line, guys, as Dean Thomas from Orlando, Florida, gets ready to make his way to the ring.
Dean Thomas is representing Team Rival. He's got a pro no-holds barred record of 10-1. He's a World Extreme Fighting 7 super featherweight champion, 6-time veteran of World Extreme Fighting events, and ranked number 5 in the Japanese Shuto organization. I also had an opportunity to roll with this guy prior to tonight's event, and he's 155 pounds and excellent in submissions. He trains with Paul Rodriguez, the man that rolled with Phil Johns earlier tonight. And he's got a lot of tricky triangles and arm bars that he can pull out. So this should be an excellent fight.
Jim, tell us a little bit more about the specifics of Dean Thomas from Team Rival and what he'll bring to the ring tonight.
Dean's an incredible fighter. A lot of his strengths consist of his stand-up ability. His ground attack is very smooth, and he is very good in his transitional, as well as he has a very positive attitude.
Well, Dean Thomas comes into our featured matchup, and he feels as if he's not getting a lot of respect from Jens Pulver in the Pulver camp.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't think Jens respects me much, but when we step into that cage, you know, he's going to be in a fight. He's going to know it. So that's all I'm saying. It's going to be a fight to the end, and you know, the best man's going to win.
Well, there you go. Lack of respect, we'll see. Dean Thomas getting set for the entrance, as is the crowd here in Augusta, of the guy they call the Pulverizer, Jens Pulver, Jay.
Jens Pulver trains under Pat Militek's MFS fighting system, which combines Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, freestyle wrestling, Muay Thai boxing, and boxing. He has a no-holds-barred fighting record of 16-1-1. He's won the Boss Written Invitational in Colorado in 1999. He's extensive wrestling background. He competed at the JC level, and he's a 2-time All-American. He's 2-time World Extreme Fighting veteran and a 2-time UFC veteran. This should be an excellent fight. He has quick hands and he throws heavy leather.
Let's break down some more of his specifics as we see the Pulverizer, Tim.
Jens Pulver is known for his left hand, excellent left hook. He's known for his conditioning, what we call him the Energizer Bunny, at our gym. I'm a fellow stablemate of his, as well as his wrestling experience.
Well, I'll tell you what, with Jens Pulver, this is a guy that he's talking about whether or not this fight will even go the distance.
It's not going to be till the end. It's not going to make a decision, at least through me. One of us is going to drop, and that's the way I've been training. I've been doing 5 times the amount of sprints. I've been working 5 times as hard on endurance. I've upped the level as far as intensity. Constant nonstop. I was real disappointed in my last fight with Jahawk. If Dunn will let me get my hands on him, then I want to stay in close and pummel with him, grapple with him, and like I said before, make him carry me 18 minutes if he can.
Let's take a quick look at how these two match up. The tail of the tape with Pulver and Dean Thomas. There you see a slight difference in age. Thomas 3 inches taller, height, or rather weight nearly the same. The reach though, Thomas, I'll tell you what, it's got a huge advantage. This is for the belt. This is our main event. This is our feature fight. It has been an unbelievable night in Augusta, Georgia. Our title is on the line. TJ, this crowd's been phenomenal. Let's get it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, Augusta, Georgia. Rival Fight Gear, in association with Jamie Levine, are presenting this World Super Lightweight title. This will be sanctioned by the International Sport Combat Federation. Mike Carlson, representative at ringside. Augusta, Georgia, are you ready? Augusta, Georgia, and those viewing around the world, are you ready? The fighter standing behind me, 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing at 154.5 pounds. He's from Orlando, Florida. Please welcome Dean Thomas. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in this World Super Lightweight battle, 5 foot 7 inches tall, 155 pounds, from Davenport, Iowa, the pulverizer, Jens Pulver. On Kip Kohler's command.
Well, the International Sports Combat Federation, the ISCF, World Super Lightweight title rather, on the line. Pulver and Dean Thomas getting set to go at it. Our featured fight, our main event of the evening for the title. The belt is here, it's on the line. Kip Kohler brings him to the ring, and here we go. Thomas and Pulver. This is 6-minute rounds, guys.
This is an exciting way to end the night. The lightweight fighters are generally the most exciting fighters to watch on the card, especially two of this caliber with their quickness on their hands and with their feet.
Solid kick there for Pulver. Pulver on the right, Thomas on your left.
You can see Pulver's kind of stalking. He's kind of closing the distance, trying to get in there, and he's keeping that left hook back.
For Jens to be effective, he needs to close that distance with Dean, just like that. That's where Jens is going to be stronger at. Okay, he's taking Dean's reach and power away from him.
Both fighters talking about the fact they didn't think this thing would go the distance. Over and Thomas.
Oh! He tried to jump into a triangle there. That was close. He's trying to work Jens Pulver into his goal. Pulver's trying to stand out and throw that left.
Pulver lets him back up.
Who's your face? Who's your face? Inside or outside?
The corner you hear is Jens Pulver's. We saw him a moment ago. Two fighters stalking each other.
I've had the opportunity to train with Jens quite a bit before this fight, and I know how serious he has taken it. He's been the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. So I look forward to a nose to the grind kind of fight from Jens.
Rumor has it they call him the Energizer Bunny,
and going, and he is.
Too many reasons you can see one of the fighters has shoes on, and Dean Thomas obviously does not. Any advantage, any reason for that?
Yes and no. Jens actually has a different style of shoe than what we're used to seeing. It's a Sambo style of shoe from Russia. It's hand-stitched, it's leather instead of like the American style of wrestling shoes, the hard plastic. And there we get a better look at it. And what it's made for is to actually, still get a good grip on the mat, but it's a lot more flexible as far as your foot movement as well.
You can tell these fighters have a lot of respect for one another. Either of them they look pretty cautious, not necessarily jumping in there.
A lot of stand-up here as the two fighters are trying to get through this first round and have a feeling out process.
Exactly.
Pulver just missed with a big kick. Pulver, former wrestler, Boise State University. Definitely more of a boxing match right now between these two. Something we haven't seen a lot of tonight. Dean Thomas, that decided reach advantage, guys, is going to come into play here, maybe?
Oh, I'm sure it will eventually. As Dean, this is only the first round. As Dean gets more comfortable and finds his range, I think you'll see more.
There's a takedown by Dean Thomas. That's pretty amazing to see Jens Pulver with the strength lifting him up that single leg.
Pulver, a strong wrestling background.
I don't think Pulver has anything there with that.
There won't be anything there.
With that guillotine, he lets it go.
Jens has been working on some strong reversals from this position, thinking he may be here against Dean, so we may see that come into play if he feels comfortable doing it.
You'll notice Dean's trying to pry that right leg free so he can go to possibly the mat.
And there we did see it.
In the guard. There's the reversal. So perhaps we'll get a look at the guard of Dean Thomas now, see if he's able to work something out of this.
Great shot there as you see the fighters tie up. Long 6-minute rounds. Pulver setting him up for something here. Oh, left hand, another left hand. That's what he was setting him up for.
Dean working in open guard, keeping his knees, up there in the chest of Jens, making it uncomfortable.
We heard the cornerman yell out 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're inside of that now.
Okay, stop.
And Kip Kolar is going to get him standing back up again.
You got to pull the trigger a little bit. Let's see some fire.
Here you see Pat Militech talking to his fighter, trying to get him to be a little more aggressive on the stand-up.
Thomas and Pulver now. Featured fight and two of the top lightweights in the world. Most would say the top two.
I tell you, Pulver's got some good kicks. He's thrown a couple high kicks and a couple leg kicks. Perhaps I use those just a little more.
30 seconds.
He comes inside in half a minute. Neither fighter wanting to make a mistake as Thomas trying to use that reach advantage.
We do 6-minute rounds in the title fight, the longest rounds of the night. So.
Oh, just missing with an uppercut was Thomas. Pretty good knee there by Pulver. Don't think that much of Thomas though. The final seconds of the first round. Scheduled 3-rounder, and that'll do it. The first round is in the books. Guys, if nothing else, a lot of respect shown between the two fighters in that first round. Nobody wanted to make a mistake in that first round.
No, exactly. That's a good point too. I do give the physical edge to Jens, though. I think Jens looks a little stronger when they're down on the ground and even on the feet too. So I think Jens has a little quicker hands just because his reach is a little bit shorter.
Thomas just missed with that uppercut, and watch the counter here by Pulver. Both fighters coming close in the waning seconds to landing the big bomb, but neither one can do it. There you see team rival in the corner. Rodriguez and Saunders from earlier tonight. Dean Thomas, Jens Pulver. Went to school at Boise State in Idaho, now living in Davenport, Iowa. As we get ready to get it going here, second round. With the title on the line, the ISCF World super lightweight title.
Looks like Dean Thomas's corner may have told him to start working that jab. He's been pretty aggressive with it here in the beginning of the round.
Nice sprawl by Jens. Being able to stop the shot of Dean. Dean rolls into a knee bar.
It looks like he's going for a knee bar. He's trying to get a heel hook. He's trying to get that arm around. You can see Jens grabbing his arm, trying to prevent it from happening. He may have it. He may have it.
That's it. It's over. It is over. It is over.
Dean Thomas is now the lightweight champion.
Dean Thomas got the leg, locked it up, and it's over. The title goes to Dean Thomas. As Jens Pulver taps out, and Thomas is some kind of happy right now.
You can see Dean Thomas doing the patented Pulver execution technique towards the crowd.
Dean Thomas with the win against Jens Pulver, and he is celebrating, and deservedly so with Jens Pulver.
I'll tell you, he has some tricky submissions. I told you I had the opportunity to roll with him prior to this event, and he's well versed in them. There's a sportsmanlike conduct going over to greet his opponent.
Jens Pulver got to be very, very disappointed right there. Pat Miletich talking to Dean Thomas. They talked about a little bit of lack of respect for Dean Thomas coming from the Pulver camp. Thomas talked about that in his interview. I think there's got to be a lot of respect right now. Let's go to the ring and get the official announcement with TJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 33 seconds, round number 1, round number 2, reverse heel hook submission, the winner and new super lightweight champion of the world, Dean Thomas.
Dean Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the belt being presented by Jamie Levine, promoter, and representative at ringside of International Sport Combat Federation, Mike Carlson.
As they present the belt down to Dean Thomas, let's go back to TJ and get some words from our new champion in the ring right now, Dean Thomas, if TJ gets up with him. TJ.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, here with Dean Thomas. Dean, this was a big fight. Everybody's been talking about it. Tell us, first of all, we talk about your opponent's strength. He's supposed to be a really strong man. It looked like a heck of a fight. How strong was Jens Pulver?
Extremely strong, but not strong enough. I'm the motherfucking man in this division, all right? Y'all get that right.
Dean Thomas, you're fighting perhaps the biggest fight of your life, and you're out there trying flying arm bars, you're trying rolling knee bars. Some people may even call these hot dog moves, but the second one you pulled off a heel hook with. Can you tell us a little about what your mindset is going in trying some of these really high-risk moves?
Well, I credit to my teammates, the people in Japan, and where I get all my moves from, because, you know, I'm a Japanese judo fighter, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all need to get it together.
I'll tell you what, Dean Thomas, how does it feel to finally get that medal around your waist?
I know I was going to get it before I even came here. How fucking is that?
Is there anybody else out there that maybe would perk up your interest a little now that you're the super lightweight title? Who do you want to fight at the next New Blood conflict?
I don't care. Put the devil across the ring. I'm going to knock him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Thomas. Back to you, Ian.
Well, Dean Thomas, he's happy, he's confident, and tonight he's the champion. So happy and confidence, rightfully so, guys. What a fight, what a win by Dean Thomas over Jens Pulver.
You can see when Thomas was putting that heel hook in, Jens Pulver was reaching down trying to get that arm. He knew he had something. And I'll tell you what, credit Jens Pulver, he took a lot of pain before he tapped, because he's not a man that you see tap very often. Only one other time in his life. A lot of credit to Dean Thomas tonight.
You know, Tim, we talked about it throughout the night. The fact that a guy like Dean Thomas and a lot of these fighters, we've seen guys standing up. We saw a lot of stand-up, saw a lot of striking. In the end, though, it was a submission hold that earned the belt for Dean Thomas.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, a lot of people, or anybody that's been following Dean Thomas's career knows that, you know, he's a complete, well-rounded fighter, and he just totally displayed what a champion should have coming into this, you know, event like this.
What a fight, what a win, what a night here in Augusta, Georgia. And I'll tell you what, let's take a quick look at the replay and see how Dean Thomas claimed the ISCF lightweight title. Guys, take us through it.
Okay, Dean rolled down, he got a hold of that ankle, and you can see him right now working the shoe underneath his armpit. He reaches his left arm behind the ankle. Jens Pulver with his right arm is trying to prevent him from hooking that ankle. Once he hooks it, Dean's gonna crank it like he's lifting his arm to his chin and use his other arm as leverage, and you see Jens Pulver tap right out. Too much pain.
And then the celebration began for Dean Thomas. And what a celebration it was for Thomas and the Team Rival camp as well. And guys, we had a tremendous night of fighting here in Augusta, Georgia. We've all been to a number of these events. We've seen a number of fights. We've seen a number of different venues. The one thing that really kind of stood out tonight, I thought, was the enthusiasm of the crowd. We hear the crowd behind us. They're making some noise still. Great fights, great night of fighting here.
Oh, sure. I'm very happy to have been a part of this event, and it's been a pleasure working with you, Ian, and you, Jay. And I'd like to thank you both, and, I hope to, I wish WEF the best of luck, and they get better and better each time.
It was a great night of fighting all the way around. We had fun here. We thank you very much for joining us. So many people to thank. Dean Thomas, of course, the new lightweight champion of the world. And we want to, we'll bring him in here right now. He's coming in right now to see us as we take a look at the celebration from the new lightweight champion. We want to thank everybody involved in tonight's fight. Our promoter, Jamie LaFline. Nathan Hill's been our producer and our director tonight as well. I want to thank all the fine folks at JTV Production as well. Dean Thomas coming in as we say goodnight here from Augusta, Georgia. And you see all the fine folks that worked in the truck tonight. They had a great night of fighting to bring to you. Our tremendous crew here in Augusta, Georgia. And that's it. What a night of fighting here in Augusta, Georgia. What a night. JTV Productions produced everything. My thanks again to Jay Gagney and Tim Stamper, TJ Thompson. For all of them, I'm Ian Furness. Good night from Augusta, Georgia.